Alrighty, welcome back everybody. Simtrax Broadcasting coming to you live here with the Coast to Coast Racing League. Should be a good one here tonight lining up. We got a little bit of dirt, we got a little bit of asphalt. We're going to start with the dirt first, of course. Got a few drivers out there on the track trying to get warmed up here a little bit of a stutter start, but that's A-okay. We'll get it squared away and talk a little bit about A&J Custom Creations here. Our standings sponsor here tonight. A&J Custom Creations is the proud sponsor and supplier of the Monday Night Madness Outlaw Sprint Division trophies for the winter season. Checking out the Division League here tonight, you know, obviously with only one in the race in the bag here so far. John Hines will be in the lead, Kurt Schatzer will be second, and Brandon Templeton third, starting in the pro late models tonight. I got a lot of new names out there tonight, so we're going to do our best not to absolutely slaughter them here and try our best to give it a good shot. But John Hines, the professor, actually getting a good jump into the league here so far, getting his first win last week in the pro lates. Should do pretty well for him. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're starting with here tonight. Pro late models, obviously 30 laps will be, but we are at the dirt track at Charlotte tonight. So this should be a pretty good run here so far. 73 degrees out there on the track and the humidity about that 70%, so it should remain decently tacky out there, at least for these drivers to get around before it really starts getting pretty slick out there on the racetrack. But we do want to keep in mind, right now I'm showing not 100% confirmed, but I've got 19 drivers getting locked and loaded out there on the track, trying to put some practice time down and give us a good opportunity at this point. Let them kind of squeeze it in here just a little bit here before we head to our qualifying session, which will also give me just a little more time to actually mention our drivers of the week. We're actually going to have two of them here, obviously. Driver of the Week, brought to you by the Pitside Podcast. You can join Preston and Roger on Sundays as they bring you all the happenings inside and outside the Coast to Coast Racing League. Keep in mind, if I am not mistaken, I believe they got a hold of Kyle Moonen. They were having a chat with him on the last podcast. So if you want to kind of see what he's got going on and how Bandy Built Racing's going, let's go ahead and check that out on the Pitside Podcast. Week one in the dirt. Actually, congratulations goes out to Barry Goldner for getting Driver of the Week. He actually started in 32nd position in the Hometown Hero 360 division, drove all the way to P7, passing 25 cars. Now, I know I've rallied out there pretty well, looking for some of the drivers out there for the asphalt leagues. We've seen so many guys pass so many trucks or Xfinity cars either on Tuesday or Thursday and not being able to get it. So they answered, here we are with the week one asphalt. Will actually be the driver of the week, going to Aiden Young for the driver of the week. 2023 winter edition here. He actually started in 29th place in the Xfinity division and passed all the way up to P3, passing 26 cars. So really awesome job. I love being able to see these guys on the asphalt get a little extra time in the spotlight out there, especially for passing so much. I don't think Aiden Young will get too many driver of the weeks. He is not one for qualifying. He definitely likes driving from the back to the front, letting everybody else kind of crash each other up. But also do want to tip our hat to Sean Grace out there in that same race, who started 30th and passed 26 cars, finishing P4 in the pickup race. So speaking of which, tonight we'll also be running the pickup race, the Tim Chapman Series, at Iowa. 100 laps for that one. See, those guys have been practicing a good at least 2-3 hours of the day to figure that one out. It's going to be difficult, I'll admit, from the outside looking in. It's going to be kind of tough out there, just to the bumpiness, and I think it's going to surprise a couple of those drivers out there. I know drivers like Gary Sigelkow out there. I believe Jim Bowie, I saw him out there as well, and Joseph Canellis. So a lot of guys are out there trying to make sure they can narrow down and hammer down that track and make sure they're calm, cool, collected, squared away, aimed in the right direction, and then hopefully we'll get a good shot here at this one. Drivers still out here practicing at this point. We'll see how much longer before they want to go ahead and move this on to the next section here. I think we are going to have just about all our drivers should have been ready to rock and roll here. But I may be incorrect in the time, in our start time here, I got to admit. But, all right, let me see if we can square this away here. What time I'm supposed to be under green here? Under green, 7:45. We're about 15 minutes behind here, guys. All right. I knew they had a little bit of a stumble here. No harm, no foul. We can go ahead and take a watch at it. Joseph Grandy in the 518. I think we'll be watching a lot of him here so far. Right now in practice, hanging out in the second position. So he's he's doing pretty good clip here so far. But we'll see if they go ahead and boil this down to get it squared away here. Here's a new driver, one I haven't personally met. To me, he's new to me, and unsure about the Coast2Coast Racing League. We're looking at actually Trent Verstraeten here in the number 088 car. So definitely something to see out there. Let me see if we can get you guys some times here. I figured we would have been heading on the way here. There's Verstraeten sitting in that 5th position, trying to see if he can pick up a little more speed out there. And actually, the guy you see sitting in the 3rd position is another one. Actually Trevor Giroux. And that's who we're going to be looking at there in the 075. I believe he just hopped back to pit, feeling pretty confident about his time here so far. So, all right. Gonna slide through here just a little bit. Terry Landis, I think he's still out on the track in the 61 car. So hopefully we'll end up... There we go. All right, practice is wrapped up. Looks like they've gone ahead, thrown the towel in, and said, that's it. Good enough for us, boys. Let's go ahead and get to qualifying. Awesome, awesome. Good. I'm excited. I'm ready to get to qualifying. I don't know what we're waiting on, but let's get her done. All right, qualifying session, of course, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Flatline Racing Bodies is quality racing bodies produced by former NASCAR Regional Short Track Champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Let's take a look at our fastest times out here during qualifying. Staying our eyeballs here on Terry Landis here momentarily. I want to see if we can get a look at a couple of our new drivers I know is out here. Nathan Aldrich in the 514. Should be a good tongue twister out there for the 518 of Joseph Grandy. Well, I also have Gavin Chatham out there. All right, looks like Donovan Ross will be out here as well. I know a lot of these guys are looking forward to tonight. Patrick Spangler right now top on the chart. Our Triple Crown winner from the last season so far. Had the top spot, but got knocked out pretty quick by Grandy and Spies. I'll give a shout out there to Spangler. He actually won in one of the divisions I broadcasted, but he came away with the 305, the 360, and the 410 division last season. I mean, you want to talk about a man on the move, that would be him. Definitely getting it done. Nathan Aldrich for a 2nd position. Let's see if we can catch up with Spies in the 55. Kurt Schatzer. No, he did pretty well, but sat 2nd last one. Isaac Salas out here in the number 5. Let's see how he can do. I believe Isaac Salas got unseated in the in the 358 division. I think Randy Shreves, Mr. Consistency, got that one. So a couple of drivers out here. Randy Shreves showing he's locked and loaded, and then he's in, looking good. Glad to see the 56 car back out here again. All right, Randy Shreves right now sitting 18th. Let's see if he can get anything on this last squeeze. 15. Oof. So another piece out here. If you do qualify on the pole, you move to the A main. No heats for you. So right now, Grandy and Speed's feeling pretty solid right now, being able to get the walk-off here. But Aiden Young right now sitting 9th. Yeah, so he's going to be fighting through the heats to get back through there. Aiden Young was originally the, is the Pro Late Model champion last season. So we'll keep an eye on him to see if he can kind of continue that run this season. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, like I said, the dirt track at Charlotte. This should be a fun one here tonight. I'm definitely excited to see how many guys out here. I know Todd Hightower there in the 20th position for qualifying, and Gab Sire there on the 21st. So we'll see how many guys can squeeze into this one. Fortunately, no penalties this week for any division, so that is good news for a lot of our guys out there. Definitely getting their opportunity and their chance out there to race clean, race up front, and not have anybody in front of them. So let's go ahead and take a look at Heat 1, where we're starting here so far. Looks like Douglas Ross, Aiden Young, Jeffrey Kemper 1, 2, and 3. Kurt Schatzer starting 4th. Randy Shreves in the 5th. Richard Holland in 6th. And let's see if Gab Sire in the 094 can get onto the track here. I saw him loaded in, then not loaded in, then loaded in again. So we'll see if that number 094 can get out of here. I don't know if he may have had a connection problem or he's fighting that one. But, of course, Heat 1 brought to you by Langton Mechanical. You guys know all about them. They're a second-to-none heating and air conditioning company in the Hamilton area and promise their customers that their own professionally trained Langton specialists will be there personally every step of the way. They guarantee their customers customer satisfaction from start to finish, including sales, installation, and maintenance service of their heating or cooling system. Every equipment sale, installation, and maintenance service they call is backed 100% by Langton Mechanical. All right, let's get ready to get this going here. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, top right, Pro Late Models. I am not seeing any sponsors up there for the Pro Late Model division. So if you guys are looking to sponsor a league out here, definitely go to c2crl.com. Let's go ahead and get your name slapped on that logo up top in the corner. That way we can get you sponsored out here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. There are a lot of eyeballs out here each and every week. I know at least 200 viewers on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and about 40 or 50 on my end, but definitely keep an eye out there, guys. There are a lot of eyeballs on this league for the racing. So if you're looking to sponsor it, man, there's no better place than here on the broadcast here tonight. But in the front, Donovan Ross in the number 5. Paint job looking good. That is looking sharp. I like the way that looks on that race car right there. As he gets off to a start here for Heat 1, Donovan Ross is going to try to stick it out front in front of Aiden Young. Ooh, boy, looks like that right front jammed into the turn. Donovan Ross, something's happened here. And Donovan Ross is now going to be into the 4th position right at that cutoff, so he's going to be fighting that one. Aiden Young knows exactly where to go, and to me, this is going to be your race here of the season. I think you're going to see a lot of this. The 218 of Kurt Schatzer and Aiden Young in the 69 machine. As long as Aiden Young can stay out here, stay consistent on the track each and every night, I think he's going to be trying this one more time to really hammer away at this track. And this division, not to mention, but 69 of Aiden Young, fastest time here so far with a 15:62. Definitely looking pretty good out there so far, and he's definitely trying to get away, but not too far. Kurt Schatzer's right behind him. You see a lot of this, Kurt Schatzer almost like tucking him right behind him like the way he did with John Hine last week. So these two, 1 and 2 at this point, and it looks like they may be separating. So let's go ahead and check out Mr. Consistency, Randy Shreves here in the back. Let's see if he can put any work here on Jeffrey Kemper, as we only got about 2 laps left to go here in Heat 1. Randy Shreves riding high into the cushion, seeing if he can get a little speed out there. I don't know if the track is slicked up enough for that just yet, as he's going to try. White flag is out. Kurt Schatzer off by about half a second. Right now, unless a crazy move at this point, Kurt Schatzer should have it. Or actually, should have second place to be, as Aiden Young sitting in first. So there's your 1 and 2. Richard Holland will end up 3rd. Does Kemper hold off Shreves? And he does. Shreves in the 5th. Donovan Ross, maybe with some technical issues there, hammered into the 6th position. And that's going to do it for Heat 1. Man, oh man, definitely fast out there as we move to something else that's fast. Heat 2, Venom Racing. Keep out there for their race design. Venom Racing team is here at C2C. Consists of guys of all ages and from all parts of the U.S. You'll recognize them from familiar names like Isaac Salas, Brian Lawson, Kevin Davis, Mark Gilbert, Malachi Smith, and Charlie Weaver. And don't forget Gary Sigelkow out there to name just a few. Venom Racing is a proud sponsor of the Coast to Coast 358 Modified Division. Terry Landis and Trent Verstraeten out there, 1 and 2. Gavin Chatham will be sitting in that 3rd position. Let's go ahead and get the fancy grid up there for you. Isaac Salas will be starting 4th, Jeff Sharp into 5th, and Dan McLaren sitting in the 6th position. Interesting to see Dan McLaren out here. Glad to see him out here. With what he's doing here so far, normally I see him in a race car, but he's going to try out dirt here tonight, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there he is. Looking pretty good in that 88 machine there on the outside. Terry Landis getting his front row start here. Definitely Trent Verstraeten out there. We'll see how he does for Heat 2 here. These guys are only going to have about 5 or 6 laps to really kind of showcase their moves here and file their way into the A main. Should be a good clump of drivers here. We may have definitely 3 heats, but may have a 4th. And we'll have to figure out if we have any guys shaved off for a B main. But, alrighty, that's it. You saw it. You saw the Steve King Foundation Pace Truck get off. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and get this one underway as Terry Landis has got to watch out here on that outside line. Trent Verstraeten here on the other one. Terry Landis actually is on the inside. Trent Verstraeten on the outside. Paint scheme's getting me a little bit. Let's try to keep an eye on the orange wheels. Oh, man, definitely some contact over there. Looks like Isaac Salas almost got turned. And Dan McLaren's still back there in the 6th position. No changes into the racing just yet. No one's passed anybody. Everybody's still holding. So, Isaac Salas down toward the bottom. See if he can initiate the slider here, but no can do. As you see, the 99 of Gavin Chatham gets jammed up. Interesting to see just from this angle. Doesn't look much like the cars are really rotating that much. Don't seem to be throwing it in. Trent Verstraeten definitely, his car is rotating. There's a little extra word out there, enough yaw out there in the car to get it to roll here at this point. Still kind of fighting it here at this point. Out there in the chat, Gary Sigelcow, I see it, time to go racing. Definitely for sure, but Iowa is tough. Watch out for those bumps, so on exit of turns. Give that thing about 80% and it'll let the truck stick. All right, getting around here, Terry Landis, Isaac Salas. Isaac Salas is the one who's moved up the most here so far, sitting in 2nd. So this will do pretty well for him going into the A main here. Ooh, man. Definitely he's trying to slide through that one as the white flag is out. He's tucking behind Terry Landis here. Don't know if he's got anything for him here at this point. All right, one more chance. Isaac Salas down toward the bottom. Almost hits the tire. Terry Landis holds his line and keeps it. Landis, Salas, Chatham, and Verstraeten. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jeff Sharp ends up in the 5th position. I believe Dan McLaren is down pit. May have had a problem there later in the race. All right, that is going to do it for Heat 2. Awesome. All right, that's going to go ahead and bring us out Heat 3, of course. Heat 3, of course, brought to you by the Salty Dogs Racing Team. I know you guys may have seen some of those Salty Dogs. You may see some of them out here tonight. Definitely here in the Asphalt League. One of them won last Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Roland Olson won. All right. And the Salty Dogs Racing Team is composed of many of the senior members of the Coast2Coast Racing League who've been released to from their home to create havoc and chaos on the track. So whenever 3 or more of those dogs, at least a dog bone will be awarded to the highest finisher out there. Going straight to our grid here so far. Nathan Aldrich starting in the front with Bob DeGood in the 7. This is his chance. Trevor Giroux in 3rd. Patrick Spangler, Triple Crown winner, sitting 4th. Zach Chapman in 5th. And Todd Hietala into 6th. Looking good, man. Oh, man, am I excited. Definitely, I got to admit, I'm probably a fanboy in here with Patrick Spangler, that 39 machine. I'm amazed at whatever he drives. Whenever he's behind the wheel, this guy is flying. I don't know what he's got, but he seems just to know exactly where to be and exactly how to get it done. So these 6 drivers are going to duke it out here, and then we'll send it to the next round. Alrighty, out there in the chat. Looks like my wife says she's loving the orange wheel, so you'll be keeping an eye there on Terry Landis. But we'll definitely want to keep an eye on that lime green and black car sitting on the outside of row 2. 39 machine looking to prove something. Zach Chapman, the Xfinity champion of last season, sitting all the way in the back on the inside line. But Bob DeGood has got to be all over Nathan Aldrich at this point because that 514 is going to try to launch on him here. Away they go, little conservative start here. No wheel spin from anybody at that point. Zach Chapman already sliding in front. Todd Hietala in the back. 514 and Nathan Aldrich still holding the line here. Here comes Patrick Spangler. Spangler with the exit speed here, trying to see if he can create a lane. No can do, as you see that middle just isn't coming in yet. Maybe after our 3-minute warm-up it'll happen. But 3 wide, here we go. 7 of Bob DeGood gets into Nathan Aldrich, and away they go, allowing Trevor Giroux to get away. Patrick Spangler now into 2nd, 514 and Nathan Aldrich on the outside. But apparently it looks like Patrick Spangler's feeling that inside line is the place to be, and he's making it happen. So far, it is sticking, so I know everybody sitting down pits right now is thinking, man, I got to work that line just as much. Patrick Spangler still working it here, making it happen, but can he squeeze through? He's got the angle. Trevor Giroux sees it, and he picks up the speed on the outside of the turn. Right now, battle for the lead, back and forth, looking pretty good here. Zach Chapman's trying to remain in contention, but it looks like he gets clipped here by Nathan Aldrich. Oh, no, and then he grabs a hold of the 7 of Bob DeGood. Bob DeGood is around. Now these guys, oof, another shot there, and definitely you see Zach Chapman trying to push his way through. Todd Hightower got in the way as well. Let's get back up to the lead as the white flag is out. Patrick Spangler, one last turn to really send it on this one. Slider engaged. Here it comes. Does he have the turn exit? And he doesn't. Not enough. Trevor Giroux into first. Patrick Spangler second. Aldrich into third. That brings Zach Chapman, Todd Hightower, and Bob DeGood 4, 5, and 6. Alrighty. Looking pretty good here so far out here in the pro lates. And if you think these guys are racing fast, holy cow, you got to tune in every single day of the week here in the C2C Racing League. We got a bunch of guys out there, especially Travis Piercefield on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I will be yours truly here on Tuesdays. And we have Marty out there on Mondays, especially for the 360 divisions. So you got to watch out for them. And don't forget Joe Halter on Friday. Boy, you got me, guy. I'm jumping all over the place for you guys. Let's go ahead straight to our warm-up division here. Our sponsor for the warm-up is actually the Ohsweken Speedway. Catch all the Ohsweken Speedway action for Friday night on GeForce TV, featuring live programming around year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, all free. GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action across Ontario. And this is going to go ahead and we'll pop up actually some of the best times out there, and we'll kind of see if this is changing at all the more this track starts to slick up here at this point. Definitely got a good one here for you guys. I know 30 laps doesn't seem like much, but especially in these pro lates, trying to rotate that much weight getting through. Definitely is tough out there as we see. Actually, looks, if I'm not mistaken, that is Randy Shreves out there really kind of pushing around there, trying to see if he can figure out a faster line. Already a little damage to the right rear of that car. I think we'll see a few cars out there. The more this track starts to wear down, that's what we're going to see. Okay, get up closer to that wall, kind of kiss it right off right about there, and then kind of go ahead and bump their way through. So it's definitely going to be eyeballs out there on the track. We got about another 30 seconds left of the warm-up here. And we'll get ready to get this one squared away. A lot of these drivers, you'll notice, will rotate over to the Coast2Coast Asphalt League. If you like what you see here, guys, and you think you can do better, join the C2CRLLeague.com. We're definitely broadcasting over 10 of these things. Definitely a lot of divisions out here so far. About 16 divisions. If you like GT3s, they got it. If you like 360s, you got it. If you like doing open dirt, we got it. I mean, everything you can think of, they're racing here at C2C about 7 days a week, if I am not mistaken. And you'll be able to come out here and get the world to see you out here on the broadcast. We're going to go ahead and wrap up our warm-up here, and that's going to do it. Alrighty, here we go. Should be getting ready to grid up here momentarily. Let's get ready and right to it. Our grid, starting grid will be brought to you by the Super Dirt Car Series, the Northeast Premier Series showcasing the big block modifieds premier drivers from Florida to Canada. The Super Dirt Car Series visits some of the most exciting dirt tracks in front of the biggest crowds. The ground-pounding, earth-shattering, window-rattling beasts of the Northeast. It's the Super Dirt Car Series. Let's take a look at it. Joseph Grandy, Steven Spees, you saw how they qualified. That's where they're going to be, 1 and 2. Aiden Young starting third with Terry Landis sitting in the 4th position, so good moves by these guys so far. Trevor Giroux and Kurt Schatzer. Well, 5 and 6. Isaac South sitting 7th. Patrick Spangler in 8th. Looking pretty solid here so far in the front running. Richard Holland sitting 9th with Gavin Chatham in the 10th. Nathan Aldrich 11th and Jeffrey Kemper rounding out our 6th row. Let's rotate to the back set. Trent Verstraeten into 13th. Zach Chapman 14th. Definitely saw that tangle up with Bob DeGood. That's what's going to happen. Randy Shreves, Mr. Consistency, into 15th. Definitely expect to see a top 10 out of him. Jeff Sharp sitting 16th. Todd Hightalis 17th with Debo. Donovan Ross sitting into 18th. Dan McLaren 19th. Bob DeGood into 20th. And Gab Sire, we'll see. Like I said, I don't think he is going to lock and load here tonight. So we should have a total of 20 drivers out there on the track here tonight. This should be a good shootout here, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to be seeing a lot of moving around. Right now, Aiden Young not qualifying out there on the pole is now starting to show why you should have. So we'll see if they got anything for us or anything better than that. As they follow behind our Steve King Foundation pace truck here. We're going to go around about one more time to go ahead and showcase what these cars look like, all the cool paint jobs that they're going. But the Steve King Foundation was actually formed to help the dirt track racing community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, racing officials, track operations personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. If you want to learn more, you can go to www.stevekingfoundation.org. Alrighty, Joseph Grandy, Steven Spees. We'll see if the Gambler Motorsports team can get out there. I know the 69 machine and the 55 would show John Hine proud. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight, but let's see how they can do out there on the track. As away we go, green flag is out, and away we go, really. See if Zach Chapman in the 72 hanging out there in 14th can catch up with the rest of his teammates, but Joseph Grandy, awesome job here so far, liking that line at this point as he's sliding away. Kurt Schatzer still sitting back here in 6th, watching the battle in front of him, but Terry Landis. Watch out for the 61 as you see him sliding in behind Trevor Giroux here. Oh, contact between Isaac South and Giroux. Definitely started to work his way back. Zach Chapman was on the charge up front, but now is returned back to 14th. Richard Holland is around, and that's going to bring out a caution. Boy, boy, oh boy. Definitely don't like seeing guys match up. I know there are going to be some words said on that one. All right. Says we had a little tangle up actually with Joseph Grandy first. I don't believe so, but we'll take a peek at it. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it showed him as slinging off the turn here. Let's see what happened to Trevor, what may have started it here at the beginning. Topside, Patrick Spangler, a little wiggle there. You see the block up 75 right here. Right there, a little clip with the 116. Patrick Spangler gets caught, almost is able to drift his way around. Yeah, stays toward the top of the track and definitely kind of tucks out of the way of that one. I know, I think Devo even got caught in this one. Yeah, these guys were kind of hammering around here toward the back. Yeah, right there. Just when you thought he had escaped. Nope. All right. That replay brought to you, of course, by Malcolm Mills Millwrighting. All right, let's see who's up here in the lead. Pace car lights are still on. So for that replay, Malcolm Mills, they're actually based in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting is a full-service millwrighting contractor featuring custom welding, fabricating, and servicing industrial clients. Look them up at mmmillwrighting.com or Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting on Facebook. So for some people that may be a little bit easier, but that's going to get us restarted here back in the front with Steven Spees and Joseph Grandy in that front row. Still feeling pretty solid here so far. Grandy with an awesome restart there. Definitely was able to pull away and get the launch he wanted. But let's see if he can do it again. Popping here more from our broadcast booth angle. Let's see how this restart goes. Away we go here so far. Biggest mover of the race so far. Dan McLaren and Bob DeGood are up 7 positions so far. But they got a long way to go. Definitely starting to get some separation here so far. Isaac Salas shoots the gap, and it starts taking the rest of the back of the field here. I don't know if that was... they're going to have eyeballs on that one. That number 5 car has got to be careful here. Sitting, tucking behind Jeffrey Kemper now. Moving around. Isaac Salas, not one... I almost call him Mr. Impatient. He's definitely fast out there on the track, but definitely you got to watch out for him. He definitely starts trying to make lanes and get his way back up toward the front. You see him make a good check up there with Jeffrey Kemper. Kemper having to back up just a little bit because I think a battle for the lead is actually starting to heat up now. Aiden Young has taken the lead away already, and he's pulling away. Got his whole shot, and now he's on the move. Definitely making it happen here so far. Everybody is out there at this point. Trying to see if they can get anything going. Aiden Young right now with a comfortable over half-second lead. Grandy in the second, Steven Spees third. Puts Kurt Schatzer into fourth, and Isaac Salas trying to go for the slider here on the bottom. No can do, no room to get it done, but he pulls up right next to that 181 of Jeffrey Kemper. Boy, oh boy, Jeffrey Kemper keeps watching that 5, closing right up on his window here. Mean Green staying high. It looks like Isaac Salas may be losing a little bit of speed here, but who's not losing speed, 8 positions up, is Randy Shreves. I said watch out for him, the number 56, and there he is, making it happen here so far, but I think Kurt Schatzer, something happened here, caution's out. Doesn't look like it collected anybody else here. We'll kind of see what happened here during the yellow flag. Kurt Schatzer. Oh, man. Man, so close. But that's what you're going to see here at C2C, is just you see how close that race was. I mean, so close to really pull that one in. An awesome job there. I know some drivers didn't really appreciate that one, but it was definitely a move there of the race. That was pretty good, I gotta admit. Alrighty, I want to actually see if we can pop back here to the pass for the lead. Here's Aiden Young. Grandy looked like he was trying for that bottom end here. Aiden Young was rotating, and yeah, just had that top speed, 518, a little thick into that turn, and that's how Aiden Young right there just got the lead. So, and he's been pulling away after that. You see Spees catch that cushion, kind of slapping back into the wall here. So, these guys are going to give it another shot. Alright, don't forget out there in the chat, guys, I am watching you. So tell me what you think out there. Alex and Olivia's fight against childhood cancer. Green flag is about to come back out. We'll talk a little bit later about that. But Aiden Young, Joseph Grandy, front row. Steven Spees will be sitting third with Jeffrey Kemper in the fourth. Isaac Salas has got some damage to the front of that race car. So we'll see if that 5 machine ends up with any more trouble. Right now sitting fifth. Boy, takes it way to the inside here. He may clip into Joseph Grandy, and he does. Contact with Grandy. Grandy now marching back. Grandy not able to keep any sort of speed here as he's now caught in the middle. Oh, man. Yeah, the 116 of Richard Holland and Trent Verstraeten, they're kind of watching it happen here. 518 doesn't know where to go. He's trying to stay safe at this point because right now he's in the blender. 88 of Dan McLaren checks up, not trying to hit Grandy here, and we're back under caution. What it's telling me here, Kurt Schatzer may have been caught in this one. All right. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Kurt Schatzer out here. Top view. Oh, there we go. See? Yeah, and right when you catch that cushion, that's what's going to happen. It grabs a hold of him and spun him around. So the 99 of Gavin Chatham got caught there. Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, definitely an ugly grab here on that one. Let's see if we can actually see it from the roll bar. Yeah, kind of a nasty look here. Trying to see if we can find something a little more forgiving here. Yeah, you see how 99 up into the cushion on that right rear tire, grabs him, and then it slings him the rest of the way, slows him down way too far. And that's just it for him. Man, oh man. All right. Let's go ahead and get us back live here. Aiden Young still in the lead. Steven Spees in the 55. He's got to be feeling pretty comfortable of the 518 sitting behind him at this point. Definitely was one of his toughest adversaries here in the front. Jeffrey Kemper, I want to give a shout out. Up 9 spots here so far. He's been watching that number 5 of Ives Excels, trying to put a slider on him all night, but just no dice here at this point. And Randy Shreves does not disappoint. There he is. If I'm not mistaken, that boy's sitting 5th place. And he is. Terry Landis sitting 6th. Zach Chapman in the 7th. Trent Verstraeten in the 8th. Joseph Grandy, after that contact with Isaac South, is down in the 9th. And Richard Holland sitting 10th. So far, so good. Gambler Motorsports 1 and 2 at this point. Still, if they can get the charge. Zach Chapman sitting 7th. Looking pretty good out of that team here so far. Marching their way up front. All 3 of them in the top 10. Zach Chapman still got to keep the move on here if we want a 1-2-3 sweep at this point. Salas is going for the slider. Oh, man. Good check up there by the 5. Not really taking the nose off. A little smoke out of the tires as these guys are entering the turns here. Looks like some contact with the wall and Spees. Speaking of the wall, he's in it. All right, looks like Steven Spees is now creating a new relationship with the wall here of Charlotte. Definitely he's got to be careful or otherwise he's going to end up in a little more trouble here for the rest of the night. Isaac Sal seems to be doing fine so far, sitting 3rd with the damage that he has really started to accumulate here. But we are back under caution yet again. Showing maybe a little tumble up here with Richard Holland. See if we can take a quick peek at it in the 116 car, see what happens. Patrick Spangler behind him. Ooh, a little rotate. Patrick Spangler got into him. Yep, and that's going to do it. That's exact. Oh, actually, it shows Patrick Spangler got collected right after that. Let's see, keep an eye on Spangler as he continues the rest of the way through this lap. Yeah, 116, maybe with not enough rotation. I think Dan McLaren got him turned around. Ooh, boy. I think Gavin Chatham finished going. Gavin Chatham, I think Nathan Aldrich got turned around. Yeah, definitely little room for error out here. You do see some bumping and nudging out there with the shovel nose of these cars. It can't do much more. All right, a couple of drivers are out of the race. I believe Todd Hightower is out, is taking it down to the garage. Negative. 046 is out there on the track, 2 laps down. We'll see if Dan McLaren can survive. I don't know if he's out, and Donovan Ross. If he's out, I believe the 5 and the 88 have taken it to their trailers. Yeah, Aiden Young really putting on a great show here so far, staying out into the lead. Pace truck lights are off. They're setting down the back chute here. They're going to wrap around 3 and 4, and we're going to be back under green here for another restart. Can Aiden Young hold off Spees and Salas right now with his restart capabilities at this point at the halfway mark? He seems to kind of be a cakewalk for him. So Aiden Young takes another restart here, gets away. Steven Spees, this is another chance for him to get in there. But boy, it is starting to hump up along the walls there. You see how much these cars are bouncing. So definitely got to be super careful. A lot of these guys used to drive in cars much smaller. So I think some of the right rear and what you're seeing is them kind of clumping up along the sides. And it's definitely taking its toll on the drivers of kind of figuring out the width of this vehicle. But battle for the lead here. Steven Spees looking on the inside. No can do. Aiden Young doesn't seem to be bothered at all. Not really picking up the pace here at this point. His best time's a 15:53. His last time is a 15:78. Steven Spees was just a little bit faster on that lap, but definitely Aiden Young holding him off here at this point. Let's rotate back here to Jeffrey Kemper, who seems to be holding good here in 4th. 10 positions up as Randy Shreve still sitting 5th. Man, oh man, guys on the move. Zach Chapman still sitting 7th here. He's got to reel in Trent Verstraeten and seems to kind of be doing A-OK at this point. Then we got about a second and a half back is now where really the pile is starting to get created, right? Starting actually with Terry Landis. Oh, I believe, whoa, they just swung around Isaac Salas there, who seems to have been spun out. I was saying Terry Landis and Joseph Grandy area is kind of where these guys were getting all mixed and mashed up here. All right. Fans of the 05, let's see what happened to Isaac Salas here. Remember, we've been talking about that damage. Oof. Boy, good job there by Jeffrey Kemper getting out of that one. I think after that little hammering right there, that may move Zach Chapman up one more position here. That may be the end of his night at this point. Yeah, Isaac Salas getting straightened out on that one. Really hammering straight into the wall. A little bit of a heartbreaker for the 05 machine. But hopefully we will see him in the next round. The next round, of course, being tonight for the Asphalt League. But first, let's talk about the green flag that, of course, undoubtedly has to come back out. Is Alex and Olivia's fight against childhood cancer green flag. Yeah, it's actually Thon is actually a 46-hour no sleeping dance marathon dedicated to raising money to benefit those affected by childhood cancer. It's the largest student-run philanthropic event in the world. Join Olivia and Alex in the race against childhood cancer. You can actually use the link at Coast2Coast Racing to make your donation and help them get to the finish line. Keep that in mind. 2/3 of the way through this race, we were able to get 5 more knockdowns since our last caution. So Aiden Young with another restart here. Seems to be the restart champion at this point. And Trent Verstraeten, boy, I think he jumped that that restart something fierce there. You saw he had to kick it out to the side, which is exactly what Zach Chapman wants to see in the 72 as he slides in front of him. Terry Landis trying to keep these guys close here, not lose that second and a half gap he had between them last time. There we go. Looks like Verstraeten back down to the bottom, seeing if he can get a hold of Chapman here. But not enough. Chapman into the weeds there a little bit, back down toward the bottom. Guessing here off the cushion. Speed's already half a second behind Aiden Young here. I think Aiden Young might have this in the bag unless he self-destructs. Randy Shreves now from 5th to 4th, 11 spots up. Great charge by him so far. Farther into the top 5 he goes. I think he might have another left in him, but he's got to do something here pretty quick because he's only got 6 laps left to go in this one, and it's going down quick. Little moving here so far. Patrick Spangler just seems to be a magnet of bad luck at this point, sitting 13th. 5 spots down from where he originally qualified, and another one of our fast drivers, Kurt Schatzer. He's kind of praying for a 10th spot here as he's trying to put the moves here on the 99 of Gavin Chatham. No can do from some of these guys here so far, if I'm not mistaken. I think Terry Landis just put a little bit of moves there on Trent Verstraeten. And Terry Landis is right outside the top 5. He's got to chase down Zach Chapman at this point. Chapman about 2 seconds ahead of him, so that may be doing it. Right now, most of these cars here in the back with a good bit of damage on them here. Trying to make something happen. But Steven Spees now starting to increase his pace. Here he comes. Solid time there in Section 2. Has now started to reel him in. 1/4 of a second behind Aiden Young. And now we're starting to heat up for the lead. 2 laps left to go in this one. And Steven Spees is all over him here at this point. Does he have anything for him? Let's take a ride. On the inside, coming up on some lap traffic here. He's trying to see if he can find an angle here on the 69 machine. 69 definitely keeping out front. Aiden Young doesn't seem to be bothered. Once again, calm, cool, and collected, and away he goes. White flag is out, and he's definitely not even taking a peek at that rear view. But can the 55 of Steven Spees throw the slider? Makes contact with the wall. It looks like that may have done it. But he's going to try anyway. 55 toward the bottom. Steven Spees trying the slider. Oh, does he have the turn exit? And he does. Aiden Young is going to bring the win. Steven Spees into second, and Jeffrey Kemper in the mean green 181 comes into third. Randy Shreve sitting 4th, and Zach Chapman into 5th. Excellent job by all these gentlemen out here tonight. Getting it done. Definitely, we saw Isaac Salas, Dan McLaren, Donovan Ross, and Todd Hightower. Man, just with so much damage. Just ended up in so much trouble out there. was just unfortunately, ended up in the back of the pack. So let's go ahead and get these guys rounded up and talk to them here just a little bit. Right now, they got to be pretty proud of the Gambler Motorsports Racing team here at this point. All of their cars ended up top 5 here. So great job. Alrighty. Give me just a moment. Let's make sure we can run down my third place finisher here. I'm still on the hunt for Mr. Kemper. All right. Jeffrey Kemper, where are you, buddy? All right, I think we might have gotten him. I think we might have gotten him. I think I know where he is. Looking pretty solid here so far. Let's see if we can get a quick peek at Jeffrey Kemper. Right now is sitting awesomely in that third place finish here tonight. Jeffrey Kemper, you got a copy on me, bud?
Yeah, I got you, Patrick.
All right, there you are, man. Definitely, you got me hunting all through Discord, man. Gotta love to see you here. All right, the 181 Mean Green Machine comes in third. How was the track out there tonight?
I love to see you. It seemed pretty much top line there, so it wasn't too bad, but I definitely got to apologize to Kurt Schatzer for getting in the back of him. Tried to tuck my nose just a little bit to the inside, misjudged it. And he got the bad deal and tried to get EOL, but they won't allow it.
All right, yeah, definitely. They'll have eyes on that. I know definitely race control here is pretty tough, man, but you're going to have to see what you can do here so far. You were up 9 positions. Did you think you would end up in a podium tonight?
No, absolutely not. It just worked out pretty good. Like I say, it was high line, so Salas, threw a slide job or 2 on me, and I was able to sneak around the outside. He caught me on one of them, but I was still able to prevail later on.
Yeah, definitely. We see a lot of damage to that machine out there. I was going to ask you, how many times were you looking out that left window watching the 5 trying to do the slider, but just not enough speed?
Yeah, I seen it coming a few times, and I think it was the 3rd or 4th time. He was pretty clear of it, and I was like, I'm just going to need to slow up here and get in line and run it out that way.
All right, man. Definitely awesome job here so far. Third place finish, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Hey, we got trucks coming up. I know I see you there a bunch. How confident are you feeling for the upcoming race here tonight?
Probably not too confident. I just downloaded it, so we'll probably start in the back and see what happens. I've been listening to you about the bumps and everything, and we're just going to try to take it easy and see what we can do.
All right, attaboy. I like the way you think. Definitely tune in, man. I'll try to help people out here, but definitely awesome job. Jeffrey Kemper, give me your shout-outs here, bud.
I just got to thank friends and family and Coast2Coast Racing League and all the sponsors that helped put this on, and Tim Chapman for sponsoring the Truck League also.
All righty, man. Well, go ahead and get your butt in that truck. I want to see some practice time out of you, man.
All right, thank you, man.
All righty, everybody. Jeffrey Kemper in the 181. Solid finish here tonight. Let's move up to Steven Spees into second. Seem to have it really on a roll here. But Steven Spees here at this point. Right now, Gambler Motorsports 1 and 2 and 5. Awesome job here so far. Spees, I would ask you really, were you nervous Grandy was going to take it away from you? Or were you more nervous Aiden Young was going to get this one?
I don't know that I was nervous about either. I just, I didn't quite go how I wanted at the beginning and got an early caution and kind of got caught up behind. I knew I had speed and I was just waiting for the top to come in, which it ultimately did. I think Aiden and I were probably pretty even. It was just a matter of who was more consistent and just never had a chance to pass, but that's all right. I'm not going to complain. Like you said, Gambler 1-2, good enough for me.
All right, man. I would say top coming in. We saw you kind of kiss it off the wall a couple times out there. Were the humps really bothering you that much?
No, that's just driver error. I put it into turn 3 pretty bad. I missed my entry once and thought I was going to be done, but was able to save it and then had to play catch up again.
All right, definitely. We kept an eye on you there, man. Definitely trying to sneak that last slider there at the last moment, but just not enough there on that one to squeeze through. Definitely something to keep in mind here. I want to look at actually next week is where you guys will end up, because I know you are not an asphalt fan. Fairbury is where you guys are going to end up next Tuesday in the Pro Lates. How confident are you feeling at that track, bud?
I like Fairbury. It's a fun little track. We'll see how many cars we have and how many cautions that equates to, because it can be tough, and it's a little bull ring, and these big wide cars, it can get bumpy. So I enjoy it though. So we'll see what we got.
Yeah, definitely hard to get the speed and really kind of sling them into the turn here, but awesome job. Second place finish tonight. I can't wait to see how the points work out after this one. With John Hine coming with the win last week, and now you in second place. Awesome job, man. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs here, and let's get you ready for actually probably tomorrow or next week, bud.
Yeah, appreciate it. Definitely shout out to Aiden. Good race on his part, keeping it up there and staying in front. So congrats to him. I always like to say thanks to the folks that tune in and watch us play pretend race cars. The racing's real, the cars pretend, and we have a lot of fun. So we appreciate everybody supporting it.
That's right, man. Hey, the way I look at it, this is how you keep the wife from buying you a real race car.
I got one of those over in the garage. But,
yes.
We'll see.
Yes. All right, man. I want to see pictures. Great job, Steven, and we'll catch up. We'll catch up with you later, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Steven Spees. Yes. I like talking to that guy. That guy's fun. But talk about fun here. Let's go ahead and catch up with Aiden Young. Aiden Young, talk to me here, bud. What a wild race this was.
Just gonna send it.
Just gonna send it. Come on, man. Well, you definitely made some clean passing there, but you had to kind of do a little bit of weaving to get there. Who was your biggest adversary? Noticing you knew you had to get around here tonight.
Mainly my teammate, because he's really fast.
Okay. Oof. Yeah, definitely something to kind of keep in mind out there. I know Joseph Grandy, was in front of you as well. Definitely, I think the track may have caught him a little off guard before it started coming in. Did you notice any change in the track that kind of worked out for the better for you?
Just the top got a little slicker where it got trickier, so just had to work on throttle.
All right, man. Man of few words here in the Cool Ray Heating and Air Conditioning Victory Lane. Aiden, man, we got a truck series coming up. I'm sure you will hopefully see you competing there with a hiatus last week, man. I hate to see you not there, but fortunately, you will be there tonight. You were here tonight in the Pro Lates, but we should see you in the truck. So let me get you practicing there at Iowa, bud, and go ahead and give me shout-outs here.
I just gotta thank you as always for broadcasting, obviously Gambling Motorsports and all my teammates, and Cool Ray for being on the car, and obviously my family for letting me do too much of this.
All right, Aiden Young. Great job tonight, bud, and I'll catch up with you here in just a moment.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Aiden Young right there coming away with the win. So Aiden Young, Steven Spees, Jeffrey Kemper, Randy Shreves, and Zach Chapman 1 through 5. Terry Landis, Trevor Giroux, Trent Verstraeten, Kurt Schatzer, and Joseph Grandy all the way to 10th. So looking pretty good. Joseph Grandy, unfortunately, starting on the pole, ending up 10th place, but still a solid top 10 will work. Let's go ahead and shuffle on over to the Asphalt League that the Coast2Coast Racing League has open and see if we can put somebody else in the Cool Ray Heating and Air Conditioning Victory Lane right after this commercial.
Hi, my name is Olivia Olson. I am an industrial engineering senior and club volleyball member here at Penn State.
And I'm Alex Ryan, a computer science senior and another club volleyball member. And we're excited to announce that we're planning to dance in Thon 2023.
Thon is a 46-hour, no sitting, no sleeping dance marathon aimed towards raising funds to support those affected by childhood cancer. It is the largest student-run philanthropy in the entire world. We'll be dancing in honor of one of our best friends, Jesse King. Jesse is also a part of club volleyball, but a lot of us would consider him family. Immediately, freshman year, Alex and I clicked with Jesse and all the other new members of club volleyball. We went to the dining hall together for a lot of our meals, spent weekends together, and ended up going on vacations together. It really does feel like family to us.
Going into junior year, Jesse was supposed to live with myself and a few of our other friends, but he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in March of 2021. He's been through chemotherapy, it's been a year since he's finished radiation, and we can officially say that he has no active cancer. Currently, he is undergoing physical and cognitive therapies.
Thanks to Thon and Four Diamonds, the King family and many other families have yet to see a bill related to medical expenses, hotels, parking, gas fees, and all other related travel expenses. It just goes to show that every dollar raised truly does go a distance. It allows families to focus on the recovery of their child as opposed to financial stress.
Because of this, we've got to spend a lot more time with Jesse and his family, who are the nicest people in the world. They throw awesome tailgates, and every time we see them, a little bit more of the Jesse that we know and love peeks through.
Until then, we are fully committed to the mission of Thon and Four Diamonds by raising funds to support the Kings and all the other families affected by childhood cancer.
With Thon less than 100 days away, we're asking that you consider donating. Regardless of the amount, it will make an immense impact. To donate to our donor drive, please scan the QR code or click the included link.
If donating isn't in your cards today, please share this video with those around you. Help us get our fundraising past the finish line.
This is a race that families can't afford to lose.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
At Coolray Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical, we've proudly been the leader in serving the Southeast since 1966. And nobody is more committed to delivering industry-leading excellence to the Nashville community than we are. We're number one because we've got the best and brightest HVAC technicians, plumbers, and electricians. And you can count on us 24/7, 7 days a week. Go to Coolray.com to learn more.
All right, everybody, we are back. Sorry, C2C Network had a little trouble out there with the stream key, but we should be coming to you loud and clear here at this point. Pro late models went pretty well out there. Aiden Young came away with the win. Steven Spees into second, and Jeffrey Kemper nailed in that third position. Right now, I'm showing over 35 trucks locked and loaded here into the broadcast here, onto the track here at Iowa. Iowa's going to be a pretty nasty track out there, but we're going to go ahead and see what the Tim Chapman Racing Pickup Cup has lined up for us here so far. Let's take a look here at the race info, what we've got going on so far. 100 laps, 2 faster pairs, unlimited tires. Now, I do want to mention, fuel limit's going to be 50%. It's a short track, may or may not be some trouble. I would probably guess from the outside looking in, we're going to have enough cautions these guys are going to be able to top off. Whether or not when they pit is going to be the choice. 89 degrees on the track and 78 in the air. Biggest part about tonight, I think was going to catch a lot of our drivers off guard here tonight, is going to be the bumps out of turn 4 and coming out of 2. This is a throttle control heavy track. So if these guys are hard and stomping it to the floor, it's going to walk the cars around. As we heard Jeffrey Kemper saying, he just downloaded the track, so he's going to be have his work cut out for him here at this point to see if he can put down some solid times out there so far. Taking actually a look here at Sean Grace out in the 27. Seeing how well he can do out there, see if he can stay calm, cool, and collected out there on the track. Let's see if we can get a solid time here. At this point, boom, let's pop that up. Let's see if we can see a little something for you out there. Sean Grace sitting right now on the pole. Dan McLaren sitting second and Brad Wetzel into third. Everybody else shuffling in, trying to figure out if they can get any more out of that car. Definitely a lot of shuffling out there on the track. Roger Craig sitting 8th. 747 machine making the moves here. Let's see if we can get anything else. Whoa, there it is. There was the throttle control we were talking about there. Let's see Pat Boyce in the number 41. Already got his times in, setting 13th so far. Aiden Young with a fast time. To be expected. Definitely a hot shot there. He was fast in every section rather than everybody else. He didn't have just a section 1 faster, turn 1 and 2, and then the other one. All right, Stella out there. Mr. Download from last week. I do not believe so. That should not be Mr. Download. I know who you're talking about. No, I do not believe so. No. All right. There's Chris Schaefer in the 23 Chevrolet. A lot of work for him out there. Kyle Moonen was just part of the Pit Side podcast out there. He'd sit in third. Let's see if Chris Schaefer can get any farther up into the top 10 here. Or at least break into the top 10, seeing that he's sitting 11th, and he does. 9th. Good speed out of him so far. Dan McLaren in the 88. Showing here actually on our ticker is the 28 machine. Going to be a little confusing out there because I believe it shows Neil Strausser here as the 88 Ford. This doesn't make any sense unless Neil Strausser has changed his car here. About another minute and a half left of qualifying here. See if we can get any more out of these cars. All right, Dan McLaren's nailed himself a sixth place starting point. Right now, I don't see anybody else. Yes, I do. Steven Goldner in the 30 Ford. See if we can pick up a little more speed here. All right, qualifying time has started. Let's see what he's got for us out there. 1 minute left to go, so he's got to nail down some solid times here. Best times are at 23 seconds, so we should be able to get both of his laps in. Steven Goldner through 3, coming out of 4. '15th. All right, a lot better than where he was planning on starting. Definitely below 30th, so let's keep going. 15th place for Goldner. See if he's got anything. 130 miles an hour coming out of the turn. Good hold. Trying to make that cut. All right, looks like Steven Goldner will hold it here into the 15th position. 10 seconds left. That is going to do it. That is going to be the final of our lineup here. All right, let's get ready for the Tim Chapman NASCAR Pickup Cup. Let's get ready for it. Starting grid. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Definitely looking pretty good here so far. Aiden Young will be starting in the front row here. Definitely looking fast out of that 69 Ford. So hopefully, from what I'm guessing, we may be looking at a second win for him tonight. Sean Gray sitting second. Kyle Moon in third. Zach Chapman into fourth. That puts Brad Wetzel into the 5th position. Let's see if Dan McLaren in the 88 can do any more. Timothy Chapman. All right. Look like he's rocking the Goodwrench 37 here tonight. We'll be starting 7th. Jeremy Tate in 8th. Chris Schaefer sitting 9th. And Nathan Aldrich starting 10th. That moves us back to the number 1 car of Joseph Canellis. Starting into the 11th. And Neil Strausser starting in the 12th position. So I know a couple of these cars kind of shuffling up here on the numbers. I'm not mistaken. I thought Neil Strausser was number 62. All right, let's go ahead and rotate. Jim Bowie starting 13th. Jackson Lomax into 14th. With Steven Goldner sitting into the 15th position. We saw his qualifying. That's where he ends up. That rotates us back to Preston Cranmer. We see him in a lot of his car. Try getting up toward the front, but man, just seems everything works against him. And he files his way toward the back. Roger Craig starting in the 747 machine in 17th position with Jeff Sharp in 18th. So let's see how these guys get going. Last week's winner of the dog bone and the race, Roland Olson, the 48th, starting 19th. Patrick Spangler into 20th. Looks like he's rocking a Bobby Labonte scheme in the 39 Interstate battery car. Pat Boyce in the 41, starting 21st. Jacob Butcher in the 22nd. Gavin Chatham, good job. Nice to see him out here in the 23 Chevrolet, here toward the back of the field with Andy Patton sitting 24th. And we definitely, you want to talk about a stacked field here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Continuing on, Devo starting here in the 25th position. Jeffrey Kemper, Mr. Download, we'll call him tonight, here into the 181, starting 26th with John Rayner. Starting 27th with Matthew Robinson into 28th. We'll see if that 15 truck can get his way up there. Definitely not a good start for Matthew Robinson here. He's got a long way to go. Gary Sigelkow starting in 29th with Barry Goldner into 30th. Man, oh man, a lot of fast drivers unusually starting here from the back. I know Brandon Ishkanya and Dustin Renstedel are starting in the in race control toward the top, so these guys shouldn't be out there on the track. So we'll see them kind of shuffle their way through, which puts us with Robert Lynch here in the 121. Man, that's a dang good looking logo on that truck, on that 121. Instead of he's out of the black truck and into that color, liking it. With Terry Landis starting in the 31st position. All right, now I also have Bill Calder and Richard Holland, but I am not showing locked and loaded and on the track. So these guys may be disconnected here. So far what I've got is 32 drivers on the track. That's going to look pretty good for us here so far. Good to see Robert Lynch out here. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get us back to the front here. Sean Grace and Aiden Young are going to be taking us away in our front row. Iowa Speedway, 100 laps. Now, normally I ask our viewers out there to kind of give me a good guess out there, kind of, who you might think would come away with the win. I'm not going to ask you guys to probably about that 3/4 mark because this is going to be a brawl. This is going to be a shootout here toward the end here, and we're going to have to see what we've got coming into this one. Yeah, interested to see actually Bob Light not out here either, so I may have to get a hold of Bob Light. He actually won the Thursday night, but he won trucks last round. That is a good point. We'll get to the chat here in just a moment. Looks like Pace Car is still staying out on the track for one more lap here. out there in the track. Sometimes I wonder if how many drivers purposely qualify poorly to stay out of potential mix-up with the intention of fighting their way through it later on. You know, that's a heck of an idea. This track does, this league actually comes with 2 faster pairs, so if the bleeding happens, it can continue. You know, it has a decent incident limit. I believe 24 is where we're at. So these guys can definitely make contact. They're going to kind of, you know, crash a bang a boom bama, and then we're kind of see how many guys end up mashing each other all to pieces here. But I'm hoping for a clean race here. A much shorter track. We're finding a lot more luck, you know, out here at the shorter tracks. I think some of these guys get in that super speedway, mindset coming out of the dirt that you can't make herky-jerky moves. This one is this is a track that can tolerate that. But if they hit that bump the wrong way, we're going to see a lot of guys slinging into the infield the same way that we saw Roger Craig during his qualifying. So let's go ahead and get the green flag underway here. Sean Grace has got to be careful about passing that line first. So far, Aiden Young getting through the turn here. We'll kind of move our way toward the back because I know this is where it's going to start. Here we go. Dan McLaren, eyeballs on him. First wreck. Boy, that's not good. Look at Robert Lynch back there. You see, it's just better just to stop. It's better just to stop. Alrighty, and that's definitely what we were talking about. A little bit of that throttle control here, and that's exactly what ended up happening from there on out. Let's take a look at it from the top here. You see Dan McLaren gets a little bit of that draft behind Zach Chapman here, and just lets go. 43 machine of Brad Wetzel had to be nervous. The 37 of Tim Chapman actually busted loose too. 37 of Tim Chapman got sent around. Boy, and they just, guys, can't turn into a bulldozer here. We ain't got enough time to repair for that. So a lot of cars are going to be defunct there. Look at Terry Landis. Nowhere to go. He's, oh man, I came to a stop, but now what? Jeffrey Kemper may be broken right there. Yeah, I would say looking from the top here at Chapman. I think Chris Schaefer rolls up into him here. Man. Got nowhere to go on some of these. Nowhere to go. All right, that's going to start slicing off some of these guys' faster pairs out here. Definitely from the back. If you're talking about guys, not qualifying to at least get in a safe spot there toward the back, I would say, yeah, that might be an idea. Drivers, Robert Lynch, he's up in the 18th spot. He's already moved 15 spots up just from that last tangle up. Gary Sigelkow up 10. I mean, so a lot of these guys who were in the back are now going to shift their way toward the front. We'll see if any of these guys end up some laps down here. Right now, it's showing me, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, actually, I think Patrick Spangler on back is a lap down here. Yeah, Spangler, Lomax, Chapman, Tate, Robinson, and Boyce are down pit. I don't know if Jeffrey Kemper had to tow. Well, Jeffrey Kemper and Andy Patton are down pit road at this point. Looks like there's still some action there in Andy Patton's pit stall. But we'll keep an eye out there to see if any of this kind of changes here at this point. If any of these guys can keep an eye on that race control locked and loaded, ready. Pace car lights are still surprisingly on. Alrighty. See if the pace car lights go off, because I don't know about you guys. I'm ready to get this back under green. I don't think most of our drivers out there would like to run 100 laps under yellow. Maybe a safer way. Alright, out there in the stat. That's some of the drivers who are regularly sliding around should invest in a slip sense system or that kind of feedback. Those systems of slip sense or G sense are definitely a lot of money for those kind of systems, especially if they got a more expensive rig. It is possible. I think Logitech, Fanatec, these guys do a pretty good job of letting the steering go first, and they kind of have to depend on their eyes to see the truck actually rotating in front of you or the deal. But I see what you're saying out there. It's kind of give you a second hint here instead of just your visuals, because at that point it's probably too late. But Aiden Young, not too late on the restart this time, gets squeezed away. That may allow Kyle Moonen here on the inside to slide underneath Sean Grace in the Toyota. Let's go and rotate here in that Preston Cranmer area, see if the top 10 can stay alive. Turn 1 and 2 down. I see John Rayner getting a little loose there toward the back of the 302. See if we can keep anything left going here. Definitely you don't want to take it. It's a kind of a one-line track here at Iowa. It's definitely odd to get through. Definitely slicing through back here with Devo. Devo up his 12 positions into 13th now. If I'm not mistaken, that should be Devo running Isaac Salas' number 5 number. Looks like it's staying here. So far, so good. Kyle Moonen seeing if he can put a little pressure here on Sean Grace. Aiden Young has fallen back to 3rd. Oh, interesting to see some out of some of these. Right now, I think one of... I got a driver down pit road at this point. Matthew Robinson is down pit. So back to the pits for him. So we may be dealing with either a technical issue or that truck is just not rotating the way he would like. All right, still rotating around the track here. Sean Grace, Kyle Moonen. 1 and 2 at this point. Kind of interesting. I actually want to kind of rotate while we have a second here. Let's see if we can check out Sean Grace kind of making the pass here for the lead. Let's see what kind of happened to Aiden Young here. Yeah, I guess Aiden Young just didn't have that turn. All right. Let's go ahead and get back live here. So far, Sean Grace in the Toyota. Kyle Moonen sitting in the Chevrolet. Tire wear will be a factor here at this track. Right front is crucial. Yeah, from experience, looking from the outside, kind of from the outside in the booth looking in, Kyle Moonen has actually the more preferred line here. Kind of dropping a little bit lower, while you do see the 27 of Sean Grace hanging toward the top. I don't know how well that will do for his tire wear, but we are back under caution here. And I don't know if we had a little trouble back here with the number 25 machine of Gary Sigelkow. I know Gary's been doing a lot of practice out here. Hopefully, not too bad. Looks like he's got some damage to the left side of that truck. I'll go ahead and rotate it back here and figure out what happened to Gary Sigelkow. Take a look. Oh, Jeffrey Kemper on the inside. Oh, man, not again. Up the track. Boom. Definitely not how Gary wanted his night to go here. Let me see if we can rotate that one back just a little bit here. Take another look. Clink. Yep, just got him turned around. Man, oh man, oh man. Hate to see it. All right. 2 cautions. Gary Sigelkow is now back down to 24th here. I will admit he is up 5 positions from where he started here. But pit stall times are now starting to run up at this point. Neil Strauss and Jeff Sharp are down pit road. If I'm not mistaken, Jeffrey Kemper is down pit road as well. And Matthew Robinson in the 15 Ford, he is going to be down some laps here. He had a 47-second pit stall time. He's now sitting back here in the 32nd position. He's got a long way to go. If this thing ends up in any kind of a caution clash-up that we've seen last week between the Xfinity and the trucks, he may be able to get back onto the lead lap, but we hope the best for Mr. Robinson. All right, rotating back toward the front. Really interesting to see Aiden Young fall off the way he did, not having really that preferred line. I think he wanted to rotate lower, but Kyle Moonen had the line. So let's see what we can do out there in the chat. Looks like Michael Bennett is here, kind of rooting for Matt. Michael, out there in the chat, man, definitely Matthew Robinson got in a tangle up here early in the race. I think it was about an 8 to 10 car pileup, and I think he just ended up being one of the last cars trying to see if he could squeak through. Front end of his car got pretty banged up there, but he is still gonna have a shot out there. Paint scheme may be failing him here tonight. All right, let's see how he does out here so far. Biggest mover of the race, Terry Landis, up 18 positions here so far, sitting 16th. So looking good so far out of him. And actually, somebody who's being pretty quiet out there as well, Preston Cranmer in the 07. I think he's just trying to kind of play it nice and safe, trying to keep that 07 Chevrolet out front. Still within contention here. And feeling pretty solid, but we'll see if he can still maintain at this point. So got a lot of driving left here to do out of all these cars. But already out there looking at our standings here so far, just a quick overview. Roland Olson, I did tell you guys that won last week. Gavin Chatham is sitting second with Sean Grace. So these two guys right now, per the points, is showing tied for second place. I don't know if they're doing a point system here for qualifying at a higher position. But we'll see if we can get that squared away. We've got a bunch of drivers that are tied up. Chatham and Grace for second. We got Preston Cranmer and Matthew Robinson tied for fifth. And Jackson Lomax and Kyle Moonen tied for ninth. And that's only after one race. So definitely something to look at here. I don't know if it's just me. If we're out running the pace car here at this point, I think a few extra caution laps here. All right. Pace car lights are off. You know what that means. Kind of rally cap and get ready to see these guys double stack here. And get their way back out onto the track and really start putting some solid times down here. I want to see a good set of qualifying laps. If you guys want to tune in to C2C tomorrow, Lincoln Speedway is where you're going to find the Cool Ray Hometown Heroes. They should be running the 305, the 360 division, and the 410s. Should be there on Extreme Speed TV. Out there with Travis Piercefield. I hope everything got squared away with his mic. That way we can hear his beautiful voice over the broadcast at C2C Racing Network. All right, turn 4. This should be the final run here. Sean Grace going to go ahead and pull away with this one. Away he goes. Green flag is out. 6-9 machine of Aiden Young fell asleep just a little bit at the wheel there. And has now fallen back down to 4th. 27 getting the preferred line he would like up toward the top, but let's see how that goes. Definitely looking good here so far. Michael Bennett out there in the chat. I know you've raced here at Iowa. What did you find to be the hardest part here at Iowa? Let's see what you guys think out there. So far, Zachary Chapman sitting 5th. But not for long. He'll be hanging out for 5th for probably about 3 or 4 more laps here as we're back under caution. All right, rotating up top. It says right now in my ticker, this was Timothy Chapman was in this one, but if you actually see kind of farther in front of him, this actually creates a lot more than it did before. You actually see Gary Sigelkow is actually kind of getting turned here. Sigelkow got sent around. Here's Matthew Robinson in the 15. Let's see if he gets rear-ended. Yep, he gets hammered there by the 87, which slams Robinson into the 25. And Tim Chapman's around. Yeah, 87 of Andy Patton. Both him, Andy Patton and Robinson were down pit road there for a little while, and Kemper as well, as these guys are trying their best to, I guess, keep this one as clean as possible at this point. Yeah, actually, let me see if we can find something of Gary Sigelkow here. And let me see if I can actually... Let's take a look out the back here. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. I like that. Let's take a look out of the back of Gary Sigelkow's truck here. And I want to take a peek and see what happens. Half speed from the inside. Yep, just kind of shot the gap there. 31 machine. Yeah, Jeff Sharp just got into him there. And that just kind of sent Gary back up the track. And there's nothing really Gary can do at this point. He's just kind of getting slung around here. Oof. Patrick Spangler with a nice little pop there right there at the end. Alright, trying to see if I can find us a little bit different, different view of this to see if I can see anything else that's a little funny out of this one. Kind of looking from the back of Neil Strauss's truck. Yeah, and you just kind of see him just continue to pile up here. Neil Strauss are able to squeak away from that one. Dan McLaren saw the whole thing as well. Alright, let's take a look at it. Dan McLaren's angle. See the 31 kind of get in the back of the 25 there. Boop. And around he goes. Whew. Man, oh man. 31 seemed to survive, though. Down pit road, the 31's going, though, right there at the end of that one. Alright, well, we'll see how the rest of this race goes here. Definitely some trouble so far early on here in this race. Definitely want to keep an eye out there and see if any of these guys can kind of square this one away and push their way back to the front. You know, I know we got some guys shuffling. Biggest mover, Terry Landis, still up 21 positions in his Toyota, sitting 13th. I would admit I would like to see guys kind of pushing and passing here to get kind of making these passes under green and making the moves rather than kind of people totaling themselves out. But Sean Grace is going to take us to another restart here, a quarter of the way through the race. Lap 25 is underway. Sean Grace seeing if he can push out. Right now, battle already heating up between Kyle Moonen and Brad Wetzel. Brad Wetzel gives a little nudge to the 24 Hooters truck. Kyle Moonen, two Chevrolets, second and third, battling out here. Contact. Yep, that was going to happen. Kyle Moonen, great job keeping it there. Huge checkup. Wow. Yeah, Kyle Moonen's got to be about eating his mic here at this point, as he's got to be in his ear. Brad Wetzel gets away from that one. He seems to survive, stays in the second. So Vanderbilt Racing going to have to drop back and punt here at this point and see if he can fight his way back toward the front. And right now, single file so far, Joseph Canellis here battling with, guess who? Preston Kramer in the 07. I want to give a shout out there to Tim Chapman, who was able to show up. I believe Zach was saying that his dad was a little sick. Glad to see the 37 truck back out here. But I think Tim is actually down a couple of laps here due to some on racing incidents. We are keeping an eye here on that front runner of Joseph Canellis. You see 2 trucks back is Kyle Moonen. Not liking hanging behind Devo here. Trying to see if we can get it going. Devo swinging toward the top, back down toward the bottom. Let's see if they got anything for us. Definitely the 5 taking a peek, backs up the turn. Wow. Yeah, a lot of driving skill, and you can tell the guys that didn't qualify are sure wishing they had. They're trying to push their way around the track here. No problem so far, Donovan Ross. Now, I bet you Devo's trying to, save these tires at this point, because that is one thing you don't want to do, is to fry these tires off so soon in the race. I know most of them have been just about under caution at this point, but the separation and the heat cycling on these tires, it's going to kind of play a different heat-up pattern here. Kyle Moonen shoots down toward the bottom of Robert Lynch here. Robert Lynch hanging top line. He's going to realize it's bumpier up there than anywhere else. Definitely do pretty well out here. Iowa has kind of been juggling with shutdown here recently in the actual NASCAR runs. I know they're paving Rockingham at this point, but this would be a track I would like to see paved. Try to get some of those bumps out there. Hopefully I can kind of get everything squared away. I know Iowa, they kind of messed around with the seating here and there, trying to figure out if they needed to add extra seats, get rid of seats. Some people were kind of not showing up because of Kansas. Is so close to them, so it definitely plays up on that. Kind of on how the future of the Iowa track. But fortunately, iRacing has gone out there, scanned this track, and this is as up to date as it gets. Robert Lynch with a quick switch up here into 11th. Let's see, contact. There he goes. 99's around. Gavin Chatham is around again here. Lock it down, dude. There we go. And that's exactly how you avoid the rest of a wreck. Everybody else knows where you are. Oh, Gary! Gary, you were good. Look at the lines, bud. You were good. Oh, and they made contact. Oh, man. Never gets old. All right. Let's take another look at it here from the top end here and see if Robert Lynch doored him here just a little bit. All right, let's look at it from the top. Get it full speed. We'll slow it down when we get there. Robert Lynch shoots the gap. I saw a little bit of this from a different league. Clink, right there. Yeah, it looks like Robert Lynch just got into the turn just a little too hot there. Robert Lynch gets away. Stella's saying out there, just like the highway, seems the guy, the one who walks away is the one who caused the accident. All right. That'll do it for that one. This is the one that gets me, Gary. Right here. Watch this. Everything's A-okay. Waters are calm. Here it comes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, both of you. All right. Gotta have fun with it here at Iowa. Definitely not easy. I know these guys are trying their best to get this squared away and kind of calm down the pit, kind of calm down the race here, get everything squared away. Finally getting some laps in. But now pit road is heating up, so now we're going to figure out who stays out and who comes down pit. Right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're taking a look at Chris Schaefer in the 23 Chevrolet. And then we'll see the rush off of pit lane where they end up. Boom, boom, boom. There's our race leader. Looks like he'll be actually dialing back here a little bit. Sean Grace now bad down to the 9th position. A few drivers that have been some lap downs did stay out. Drivers that did stay out, Patrick Spangler stayed out. Neil Strausser stayed out as well. If I'm not mistaken, Jim Bowie stayed out. We saw the 15 of Matthew Robinson stayed out. Jeffrey Kemper stayed out. Yeah, so a lot of these guys just trying to see if they can squeak their laps back by not pitting. Most of these guys have already pit earlier. Patrick Spangler actually had to pit on lap 1, so he was in the first tangle up, you saw it. But Neil Strausser, he's out there, but he last pit on lap 20. So I think he pit much later than Patrick Spangler out there. But Jim Bowie did not. He did not pit, and he hasn't pit all race. So we'll see what that does for him out here. I know out there looking kind of at it and seeing that we are getting some green flag laps down. We'll see if they decide to stay racing double wide here. Try to see if we can bring a little more peace onto the track. It did seem to spread out there pretty well, except around the Kyle Moonen area. Got to admit, Kyle Moonen was kind of getting mashed up there. And having a hard time kind of picking out an area. As he was definitely getting squeezed at this point. Pace car lights are still on here. And hopefully we'll kind of see the wave around here, get these guys going. Yeah, I would say, I think for some of them, racers like Jackson Lomax right now, I think he's back down pit road again. I guess a couple extra caution laps here. This is definitely going to help him out. Come down here and get that truck squared away a bit. Jackson Lomax right now sitting 23rd. All right. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Jackson Lomax may be our last driver there on the lead lap here at this point. See if any of these other guys, what happens here at this point. Double stacking. Patrick Spangler will be a new race leader here. Few of the drivers did get some wave rounds out there. They've already shuffled, yep, to the back of the pack. A long way left to go with this one here at Iowa. I'd say if Patrick Spangler can do what he did in the 305, 360, and the 410 division. Now let's see how he does in the Pickup Cup. Away he goes, another restart here. Definitely lap 39, and the 39 is out front. Staying solid so far. See a little bit of movement out of Roland Olson here in the back, and now we got some guys bunching up. Not looking good here. The 058 of Jim Bowie on the bottom. Jim Bowie's one of the guys I told you is yet to pit. So you're going to start seeing him sliding around here, definitely after about, 18 laps under green. Some of these guys have decided to come down and start getting some tires. Sean Grace into 5th. Seeing if he can work inside. Trying to put a little pressure there on Zach Chapman. Nothing yet. Aiden Young slicing to the bottom. See if he can regain the lead that he had earlier in the race. Away he goes. High spot for Neil Strausser tonight, sitting 3rd. Contact with the wall. Patrick Spangler. Definitely already had some damage to the front and the right side of that truck. He adds a little more. Zach Chapman in the wall. There's the bump out of 4, and he felt it. Definitely slinging around the track here, having some trouble. But, man, once again, another lifeline for these guys here in the top 5 as we're back under caution. Dan McLaren is in this one. Dan McLaren having to take it immediately to pits. I don't know if he will return here on the track. We'll see. All right, let's see if we can take a look at it. Topside, Dan McLaren looks like he's behind the 121 of Robert Lynch here. Let's go. Yeah, Dan McLaren looked like he's trying to see if he can push here. Oh, back up. Oh, no. Yeah, and he had to tow after that one. Yep, that's it, because he's stuck on his side. Yeah, originally it looked like Dan McLaren was actually trying to push here. He looked like he was trying to push the 121 machine, but a quick buck here from the 61. That should be actually Terry Landis there. A quick checkup here, and that's what ended up causing the rest of this tangle up. Yeah, you can see his hands on the wheel. Mudge just a little bit to the right, and it sent him. And Joseph Canellis got hammered into it as well. Up, up, and away. You'd think that contact with Pat Boyce, that would have sent him back around there. Definitely an odd way to get sent into the atmosphere there a bit, and then land on your side after getting hammered by the 41 underneath. So, definitely interesting. Interesting kind of what the programmers of this fine service that we're watching here. Now, guys, if you're looking to join along with us here, like I say, if you're looking to join kind of with the Coast2Coast Racing League, you can go to c2crl.com and see what we can do there. Jeffrey Kemper, we talked to him before, and woes continue for him, sitting 27th. Dan McLaren still sitting down pit road at this point. After that tow, I know normally towing takes about 2.5 to 3 minutes, so we'll see if that car slaps back down and gets back on the track. Saw a little something happening here. Hopefully we see the return of Dan McLaren. All right, Sean Grace moving up to the 4th position. Zach Chapman into 3rd. Neil Strausser, he's up 10 positions. In the 2nd, and Aiden Young has regained the lead that he had earlier. Started on the pole, now back in 1st. Seemed to be doing A-OK at this point, but pit stop time is actually changing again. We got Roland Olson actually coming down, and Jim Bowie are coming down as well. Might be a good idea for some of these drivers to come in, go ahead and get it done. You know, let's go ahead and slap some fuel in it, and you might make it to the end. Mistaken, that should be a lucky dog here toward the top. Maybe, maybe not. Whoop. I might be wrong. 30 machinist Steven Goldner. Looked like he was just ready to line up double file before everybody else was. I thought he was a lucky dog working his way around there. But it looks like Steven Goldner and Kyle Moon have caught back up with each other. The only person they're missing out here is Brendan Lacey. Yeah, interesting to see Aiden Young. I don't know what he's doing here. I know I always try to talk to Aiden Young a little bit every once in a while. See if he tries to play a little bit of these mind games here. Got to mess with people. Definitely get in their head before you want to get restarted. Definitely gives you the advantage. All right. Take a look here. Nathan Aldrich in the 514. See if we can get anything going here. For all our adults out there, let's see what got going on there. All right. Take a look at it from the outside. At least Chris Schaefer sitting here in 9th. Started 9th, in 9th. Brad Wetzel's in 5th, sitting 5th. Started 5th, sitting 5th. Aiden Young starting on the pole, still sitting 1st. All right, let's get back underway. I want to see some green flag laps here. Let's go. Aiden Young going to take us to it. Away we go again. Zach Chapman finally getting his break here. Champion of the Xfinity, but he wants to take the trucks this year. right, 1 and 2 here at this point. Now it's going to start heating up between Brad Wetzel and Neil Strausser. Let's see if they can do anything at this point. Nothing but trouble here in the back. We're starting to see some mashing up. 27 machine makes a gutsy move. Sean Grace toward the bottom. And away he goes. 43 got way nasty into that turn, and 27 gets it. Neil Strausser getting tangled up here. Kyle Moonen, huge checkup. Man, great driving and heads-up driving by these guys here out of the front. Just kind of seeing a problem and rotating. Seeing a problem and rotating. And that's exactly what you see here. Kyle Moonen rotating toward the top. Dangerous on the outside. I know they say that about Darlington. Don't go the outside of turn 4. But I wouldn't go the outside of turn 4 here at Iowa. That just seems to be the danger zone. No one can seem to get away from the things that are just the impending doom. Now, Sean Grace still on a charge here. Now getting ready to take down Zach Chapman here for the second place. Kind of back and forth here. 72 and the 27. Oh, Zach Chapman way backs up the turn there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he let off or he tapped the brakes. But it looked like he let the 27 truck go by him here. And now it's going to allow Brad Wetzel to get around. Zach Chapman with a run off of 4. Kyle Moonen to follow. Right now, top 5 looking pretty good here. Kyle Moonen, after a nasty tangle up there earlier, got sent to the back. And right now, he's next to Wetzel again. Wetzel's the one who made contact with him to begin with. So these two side by side once again. Hopefully it goes a lot better, but it looks like battle for the lead. Sean Grace taking a peek to the inside of the 69 machine, Aiden Young. Interesting to see Aiden Young taking that 3/4 track area and rotating and staying here toward the top. 27, like I said, may have that more preferred line. Kind of drop it, but don't get down to the yellow line. 27 doing a great job at that. Kyle Moonen has gotten 3rd. Zach Chapman into 4th. Brad Wetzel now falling back to 5th, and Aiden Young is in the process of losing the lead here. I believe Sean Grace in the Red Bull Toyota is going to get it. Aiden Young not happy about that cutoff, and he slides underneath. Aiden Young's got to be careful we're not in the dirt, so traction will matter here. Aiden Young toward the bottom, turn exit. He gets a little taste of his own medicine here as Sean Grace uses the outside line and keeps his pace. Aiden Young will be chasing here, rotating back to Stephen Goldner, who's actually watching Chris Schaefer kiss it off the wall, heading into 1. Definitely good separation by most of our drivers here. Not a problem. Everybody seems to kind of be playing follow the leader at this point. Stephen Goldner taking a peek on the inside of Chris Schaefer, who got a little mixed up a lap ago. Now to the inside, the number 30 goes. Stephen Goldner, 9 positions, and still charging. Boy, nasty cutoff again. And I think that's what we're starting to notice here is the kind of a trend. Guys rotating back up the track, and the guy with the run is not willing to check up. Slides toward the inside and continues going. Good job so far. Got some green flag laps under our belt. Now everybody can start feeling out everybody's race line here. Zach Chapman on the bottom of now Stephen Goldner, who just took that spot away. Yeah, Zach Chapman kind of on the march back here. As he's now down to 6th, now to 7th. Chris Schaefer on the inside. Zach Chapman going to see if he can keep the 23 at the bottom. But Zach Chapman will have the run off this turn. Sean Grace has the lead. But Kyle Moonen has taken 2nd place away from Aiden Young. And now Aiden Young's going to start the march back, which we saw earlier in the first half of the race. Biggest mover of the race is Robert Lynch. We talked a little bit about him tonight. Right now that 121 is up 24 positions here so far. Seeing if he can get 25 here with Nathan Aldridge. Definitely patience has been paying off for him so far and good wreck avoidance. Taking a look at Robert Lynch, seeing if he can take a look on the inside. This looks a lot familiar what we saw last time. See if the 121 can shape it up a little better. Slides in front of the 514. Aldrich saw that one coming. Lets off the gas, turns left, slides underneath of him, and that's going to be time wasted here. But Robert Lynch says otherwise. A little more gas to the front, to under the hood of Robert Lynch and his 121 Chevrolet, and he seems to maintain 8th place here, and he's going to try to stay in front of the 514 as long as he can. Yeah, good moves by everybody here on the track so far. They're kind of bunching up in clutches of 2 here. Zach Chapman, Chris Schaefer rotating up front to Brad Wetzel and Steven Goldner here. And Aiden Young is kind of watching Kyle Moonen drive off of this one here. Kyle Moonen is gone, and Sean Grace just definitely, I don't see anything stopping that 27 Toyota at this point. He's got that thing on a rail. Let's check back here, see how Preston Kramer and Joseph Canellis are doing. I know we got a good bunch of trucks back here. Terry Landis as well. If I'm not mistaken, that should be the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper back there. I believe Jeffrey Kemper's down a lap or so. So far, he's moved up, at least up here with the 14th and 15th place guys. But he, with some tangle-ups there, it's just causing more and more problems. Trying to see if they can get anything going. Gary Sigelkow sitting 17th. Sitting right behind Tim Chapman, the 37. Behind him is John Rader in the 302. Let's see if they can get it going here. So far, so good. Tim Chapman working on the outside of the 63 machine. 63, that being Jeremy Tate. Jeremy Tate sporting a Toyota out there here tonight, seeing if he can get his way around. No issues here so far. All right. Solid green flag laps. I like seeing it. All right, let's start rotating our way back toward the front here a little bit. But first, let's watch Joseph Canellis. Joseph Canellis ended up in some tie-ups here. Right now, he's still sitting on the lead lap. At this point, following behind Preston Cranmer, who's in the 07 Chevrolet. Not too shabby here. Nathan Aldrich has fallen victim to Patrick Spangler, who's on the move. He's up 11 positions here so far. Patrick Spangler, last pit on lap 43, so his tires are much fresher than some of the cars he's running up on here. Right now, he has the freshest tires out of the top 10. And it's showing at this point. Right now, Patrick Spangler's last lap of a 24.98, Schaefer with a 25.25. So already got about a quarter of a second gap here, and let's see if he starts putting on some faster times here. Patrick Spangler, another move there. Whoa, man, Robert Lynch. Robert Lynch driving that car like he stole it here at this point. Slides to the bottom in a very aggressive manner. Then trying to see if he can get some fresh air out from behind of Zach Chapman. Jack Chapman might be in a little trouble here as Robert Lynch is looking toward the inside. Robert Lynch has got the gap sliding behind him for the draft, but Chris Schaefer sees and moves. So Patrick Spangler getting jammed up here with a new set of tires, but no room to run. Robert Lynch and Chris Schaefer make contact here. And after this battle is over, I want to rotate up to the front because it looks like Kyle Moonen has caught Sean Grace, but only down by a quarter of a second off of him at this point. Jackson Lomax is heading back down pit again. The 96 Toyota is just having nothing but trouble here, but he may be trying to outpit the rest of the field here. Stella out there in the chat rooting on Robert Lynch, and we got our eyeballs on here as he's still trying to battle for 6th place. Definitely got the shot here. Robert Lynch had a really fast time in the super late models, but he's definitely trying out the trucks. And that should actually be Terry Landis at the bottom. Terry Landis last pit on lap 65, so go ahead and let that car go by. Landis is a lap down or so here. So Robert Lynch has gotten his way up there. Kyle Moonen into the lead, but I wouldn't say by passing Sean Grace because he did, but Sean Grace is down pit road at this point, so it wasn't just driving around him here at this point, from what I'm seeing. Yeah, pit road is starting to light up here a little bit. Kyle Moonen trying to figure out there may be something happening here, so he's going to come down pit road as well. All right, that's going to move our guys up a couple positions here. Aiden Young back into the lead. Steven Goldner sitting 2nd and Robert Lynch 3rd. Looks like Aiden Young is going to try to see if he can put the 15 car of Matthew Robinson down another lap here. as Matthew Robbins is trying his best to save his race. 5 laps down that 15 machine is, and you can't be happy about that, especially when it was ruined so early in the race. These guys are going a lot better here at this point, getting some time out there on the track. For some of these drivers who show up both Tuesday and Thursday, they're going to have a better, have another angle at it. Oh, no, but Aiden Young pitting now, and caution is out. Hopefully Aiden Young can get in and out of the pits here fast enough before we end up in any sort of a tangle up and putting Aiden Young a lap down here. Now, I can probably guess what happened here. Let's take a look at Sean Grace here, actually in the 27, who was a race leader there for a little while. Let's see what the 27 does. Gets inside of the 43, tries to rotate. Oh, new tires. New tires have grip, but you gotta let them heat up. 27 might be down on engine power here. Fastest driver here of the night. Might be limping it at this point. If I'm not mistaken, taking a look here at Sean Grace in the 27 truck. Looks like he had to tow here. So our race leader, for so fast all night, that's going to cost him. So a lot of drivers coming down probably for their final pit stop, seeing that we have reached 75 out of 100 here. Going pretty well there for the good center section. Hopefully it stays clean to the end. Looking good here so far. That's going to definitely shuffle our field up here. Yeah, Zach Chapman showing in the lead here at this point, but he might be thinking twice. Zach Chapman back down pit road here. He did have a 7-second pit stop time last time Zach Chapman was in here. But he's deciding against it, coming back down pit. So that's going to refile our guys back up here. Aiden Young regains the lead. And it's showing me Robert Lynch in second. 31 positions right now for Robert Lynch. Awesome job here by Robert. Awesome job here. So, and if you guys want to tune in to simtracksbroadcasting.com, you can actually find the replays of previous broadcasts I've done. If you guys want to check out Robert Lynch and the last race of the Graceland Shootout Series, it was the first time in my broadcasting career that I've had 3 generations out there onto the track. He was out there, his son was out there, and then his grandson was out there on the track all at the same time. And I've never, I've seen like a father-son duo, but I've never seen all 3. So awesome job. And and Robert Lynch kind of tried to come out on top on that one. But that was a heck of a run there at the end. I believe Billy Stanley won that race there at Daytona. So, gonna go ahead and get our guys lined up. You see a bunch of cars out there in front of Aiden Young here so far. That's to be expected. Some of these guys trying to get their laps back. So they should go ahead and get their wave arounds. Aiden Young will get double file behind them when the pace car passes the line again. He's going to double stack on this one. This should be Neil Strausser there in the 88 machine. And we're seeing in the front of Aiden Young we're riding along with here yet again. Aiden Young definitely has that car on a roll here. Man, look at that. He's even got his helmet painted. Let's take a look at him. Man, look at that. Not bad. Give a good shout out there for the Young Gun Creations. All right. See if most of our drivers get kind of waved around here. We should double stack here at this point. So, A lot of drivers out here are going to kind of have to figure out fresh tires. It should be, to me, if I, out here racing, unless I end up in a tangle up here. The last set of tires these guys are going to put on. Top this thing off on fuel and really give it that last 25-lap shootout here for the end. Right now, the top 19 are on the lead lap. Pace car is off. Aiden Young, Robert Lynch, front row. Let's see how they get it done. Let's see if Chris Schaefer in the 23 gives Robert Lynch a little pop right there. Away they go. Chris Schaefer on the bottom. He's got the line. He's hooked it. All right, but don't count out Robert Lynch just yet. Patrick Spangler now into 4th. Oh, rotate up. He's got to be careful. Nathan Aldrich. He sees it and rotates up. Stays out of the way. Good job. Caution. Jeffrey Kemper's involved. Dang. All right, I was kind of hoping everything would go a lot smoother on that one. I know some trouble happened, but we'll see if this is actually fault of Kemper here. Let's take a look at the 181 car. Oh, Timothy Chapman in the 37. Kemper tries to stomp on the brake. Terry Landis sees it happen. Goldner into the back of him. Oh, and he comes back down the track. There's Rob. Roger sees it. Oh, man. Who I saw have to make about 3 adjustments on this one. I've got to take a ride here with Kyle Moonen here. He had to make about 3 adjustments to stay out of the way of this one. Let me see if we can roll this back. Kyle Moonen here. Oh. And then it keeps going up farther up. That's Gold, the 36 machine. That's Barry Goldner. Holy cow. Yeah, taking a look there. That was Kyle Moonen. We took a little ride with along there. Definitely, it does not get much easier for some of these guys trying to get back their way to the front. It's just not happening at this point. They can't seem to get where they need to be. They can't seem to find that clear area here to find that opening. Now, I didn't know if the 37, I think probably what happened is a new set of tires, the same way we saw what happened with Sean Grace. So we'll see how that goes. Interesting enough, Matthew Robinson coming back down pit again. And we've been talking a little bit about him tonight in that 15-4 back down pit here. Jeffrey Kemper is down pit as well, spending a good amount of time in this pit stall. We'll see if he ends up into the garage here. Some of our other drivers out there, Dan McLaren has taken to the garage. Donovan Ross, Jeff Sharp, Andy Patton. These guys have all gone to the garage here so far. We'll see if what continues here. Jeffrey Kemper is down pit road still at this point. I'm not seeing anything solid out of the 181 machine, but we'll see if he can survive and get back out there. Give it another run. All right, out there in the chat, Jeff Kemper, he used all his fast repairs. You are done. Oh, man. Yeah, I was going to say, man, you just downloaded this one. Iowa is a tough track, man. It's hard to cope with, and some of it, like I said, some of it isn't your fault. Sometimes it is. Sometimes, it depends. It depends on who you are. I'm not saying it's you, Jeff. It's Iowa is such a weird track. And so, I think people try to kind of weigh this track more against Richmond. being that's more that kind of D-shaped oval kind of situation. But the bumps are just an absolute killer here, and just not getting any break, especially on that track temperature. It's at least 78 degrees, but it's not looking too solid here so far. But I've heard that a lot of people out there in the chat. Jeffrey Kemper, you will be ready for the Xfinity. Definitely you'll need the practice for that one for sure. As you know, some of these other guys are seeing that it's catching a lot of guys off guard here. The bumps, the way the tires are handling, and kind of as you're rotating out of 4, the truck, you just feel like all the weight puts it all right into the passenger seat, and these guys are just having a hard time keeping it wrangled in. But only 15 to go when we get to the line left in this one. I know Matthew Robinson was telling me as well he'll do a heck of a lot better in the Xfinity run. I would tend to agree with everybody out there who's having a bad night, but there's no saying this isn't going to be a bad night on Thursdays. Travis Piercefield will be with you guys in the Xfinity Series. You'll be joining him there. He'll be excited to call that race for you guys. Definitely, I was there last Thursday. It was looking pretty solid. Bob Light turned into a laser beam on that track. All right. Take a look from the top. Broadcast booth area we go. Aiden Young going to get another start here. And we'll admit, Aiden Young hasn't really been the fastest out here, and not forever. Guys are definitely starting to find these, kind of the Swiss cheese defense he's putting up here on the track. But hey, right now, Aiden Young's got the lead, and let's see if he can hold it out for 15 more. Chris Schaefer says, I know exactly where that hole is. Down to the bottom he goes. Aiming for that spot. Contact already here in the back. Zap Chapman and Jacob Butcher make contact. That was bad. Chris Schaefer now dialing it back here, and is now under fire by Robert Lynch. Lynch toward the bottom. These guys have been battling a good part here of tonight. Chris Schaefer and Robert Lynch knows what to do. Sends it into the turn pretty hard here. And that's one way to get heat in the tires. All right, Young, Schaefer, Lynch, 1, 2, and 3 at this point. Nathan Aldrich has fought his way up into 4th. Patrick Spangler sitting 5th. Zach Chapman battling along here with Joseph Canellis. And let's see if Preston Kramer wants to break into the top 5 here, aiming to the inside of Patrick Spangler. He does. Slight little wedge here. Patrick Spangler will have the turn exit. Woo, you see him slide just a little bit. Spangler holds it. Joseph Canellis now onto the inside of Zach Chapman here in the 72. See if that Cool Ray Chevrolet can get going here. Let's rotate our way back up to the front as Chris Schaefer still under fire here by Robert Lynch. Lynch taking the shot here toward the inside. No can doing. If there's one person happy about this battle here in the back, it's the 69 Ford in the front. The more these guys battle side by side, the more he's putting the distance. Over half a second, he's looking back at these two, kind of battling it out here. And he's got to be loving it. Definitely see Lynch trying that more of that fresh air attack inside line, but it's not sticking here so far. Yeah, Lynch may have to put a little bit of work here on Chris Schaefer. He was trying to use those fresh tires that he had to put the moves on him, but no can do. Nathan Aldrich starting to pick up a little pace here. Use that draft, see if he can get the angle. Lynch lucky enough to get the room to slide back in. Boy, Nathan Aldrich might give him a little nudge here. .121 of Robert Lynch we're still watching here. Very aggressive on the bottom. Let's give these guys a little bit of a cool down here as we rotate back here with Gavin Chatham and Kyle Moonen. Moonen watching everything happening behind him here at this point. Jacob Butcher sliding around here a bunch. You can tell his frustration level. You see how he's jerking that wheel around. Front, top, bottom. Connection with the 99. Good job by Gavin Chatham. He's seen that move a lot here tonight. Everybody touching that back quarter panel and getting him turned around. Jackson Lomax, talk about a couple laps down here. Jackson Lomax saves it here. Say up into 12th, battling around Gary Sigelkow. Stephen Goldner sitting in that 30 Ford here. Let's see how they can do. Good gaggle of cars going on here. Here's what John Hine calls a kerfuffle. Here we go. Looks like Gary Sigelkow and Goldner make contact. Sigelkow's got to have his head on a swivel. He's got a lot of drivers around him here at this point. Matthew Robinson now toward the inside. Boy, man. Definitely starting to get the squeeze here at this point. Chris Schaefer still has Lynch behind him. Gary Sigelkow down on the bottom. Sean Grace, our fastest driver of the night, 27 machine, is at the top. And Gary is around. All right, Gary. Let's figure out what happened here, bud. All right. Gary Sigelkow's 25 Chevrolet is around. Let's kind of see what happened here from the angle. Let's take a look at it topside. I always try to get us a top angle and see what happened. Let's see if Gary rotated up. Matthew Robinson giving some room. Nothing. Boom. Yeah, just another pinch. The woes continue for Matthew Robinson in the 15 here. Let's see if we can take a shot along with Matthew Robinson here. Here comes the turn. Boink. Yikes. Yeah, not exactly the angle he wanted to be at going into this. Now, I want to keep in mind, actually, during this caution here, as we ride along with Matthew Robinson, let's watch the wheel and see if he tries to get out, or did he hold him to the bottom here. Yeah, you see he kind of nudged it just a little bit, but Matthew Robinson had somebody on the outside, so there's nowhere he really could have gone here. So, 15 truck mashed to pieces once again, so I think Matthew Robinson is out of faster pairs here. And he was unfortunately going to have to continue this way. Man, he must be tuned in. Oh, he must be tuned in as we come back live here. Looks like Matthew Robinson down pit road here at this point. Just continues. But that's okay, guys. If you want to see Matthew Robinson again, you can actually tune in on Wednesday. I'll actually see him running this first race. With the Racing Revolution League that I'm broadcasting for, so we'll see how well he does. Give a good shout out for him when he shows up there. And you'll also see him on Thursday for the Xfinity run. After Matthew Robinson looking pretty fast. I'll probably poke at him a little more, tell him his paint job's holding him up. I have a chat with Young Gun Creations, Magnum Race Designs, one of those guys, to see if they can get him a better paint scheme. Not digging it. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get it done here. I don't know about you guys, but I think we're going to be heading to our first green-white checkered here. So the end is in sight. I think some of these drivers out here would probably agree with me and kind of say they've kind of had enough of Iowa. Definitely had enough of racing this track. This thing has been nothing but trouble for these guys. So they, unfortunately, for our Xfinity truck drivers that are going to Xfinity, they'll be doing this one more time on Thursday. After, if they choose to do the dirt with the small blocks and the 358s, and the I think the small blocks run this week for the both at Lima Land for that run. So that moves us to the following week to maybe a more favorable track, but does have another treacherous area. is actually Tim Chapman Racing. The Pickup Cup, where we're going to be heading, is actually Charlotte. We'll be heading to Charlotte of next week for the Tuesday and Xfinity Truck Xfinity Series. So the Charlotte Motor Speedway will be good for that one. That is a good turn. Definitely set up into the turn is going to determine where your exit is. And the tunnel turn along the front, a lot of miscommunications can happen there. I'm thinking 2 other tracks that probably have that same issue. Atlanta, after the repave, that super speedway ends up with some trouble. And Texas. Texas will actually have that same kind of trouble with that kind of that tunnel turn. Everybody not really kind of communicating where to go. So, Aiden Young, Chris Schaefer, 1 and 2. That's going to bring us Robert Lynch and Nathan Aldrich, 3 and 4. So far, these guys have been pretty clean all race. But they've only got a couple more to get it done. All right, round they go out there in the chat. Matthew Robbins says there's nothing wrong with his paint job. All right, Aiden Young getting it here. Right now, Robert Lynch is going to have to send it if he wants a little more here. Maybe have a caution here. I know some cars are banging up here in the back, making contact, definitely sliding around. Patrick Spangler squeezing it here. Kyle Moonen to the bottom. Kyle Moonen sending it as hard as he can here. At this point, Kyle Moonen sitting 7th right now. Doors the 07 of Preston Cranmer. Cranmer being very patient here all night. Definitely a tangle up here so far. Aiden Young comes away with the win. Chris Schaefer 2nd, and Robert Lynch will be sitting 3rd. Aldrich in the 4th, and we are watching him sling on by. Kyle Moonen did end up getting it, put himself into the 6th position. In front of Preston Cranmer, Patrick Spangler battles it back up into 8th. So out of all these drivers, our hard charger is Robert Lynch. Excellent job by him being the hard charger tonight for the Tim Chapman Pickup Cup. And the hard charger is brought to you by All About Tie-Dye, located in Liberty, Missouri. All About Tie-Dye is the official tie-dye of the Coast2Coast Racing League. So awesome job by our drivers out here tonight. Mashing it up here is definitely a tough one. Let's take a look at our results here. As we get this wound up, and in the process, I'm going to chase down all our fancy finishers here tonight. All right, all right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. I think we took a good look at those results there. Everybody kind of got a good show of what came into play here for this entire race. It was definitely a good run here, especially at the end. I enjoyed what I was seeing there so far from what these guys had, really had going on at this point. But 3rd place ends up as Robert Lynch. Not too shabby out of him here so far, so let's go ahead and have a chat with Robert Lynch. Robert Lynch, you got a copy on me here, bud?
I do, Patrick.
All right, man, dude. I even mentioned to people I had 3 generations on the track during Graceland. But now we rotate over to Coast2Coast, man. 3rd place finish. You were also our hard charger of the night. You made 30 positions here tonight in your Chevrolet and came out 3rd. How was the track for you?
Oh, the track was good. It just, you just had to watch out for the accidents and for the people that are getting loose, because especially that bump out of 2 really threw a lot of people I was watching. So
yeah, definitely, for sure. We were kind of watching the first wreck. I think that happened on the first turn, man. Everybody coming out of 2. I saw your car way in the back come to just a complete stop and just finish, let it get over, man, because you were in the back, and it's not worth firing through. I know a couple people tried, but just came up, unfortunately, unsuccessful to get through that whole gaggle of cars that came up on this whole run here. But Robert, I've seen you before. Is Iowa really a track you're very, very comfortable with?
Yeah, it is. I like it. It's kind of like Richmond. It's just a good track that I really feel comfortable at. So
All right, man. Well, I'm sure some people out there would kind of lobby for a repave here, man. If this thing was a lot smoother, I think a lot more speed could be built up. Would you agree?
I would, because it'd take the bump out of 2, and it would make everything a lot smoother. And I think you'd be able to hold more speed out of 2, which would ultimately more speed for the lap time.
Oh yeah, maybe a little more banking too. But I know they're paving the rock right now, so maybe Iowa will be in the works. Robert Lynch, 3rd place finish here tonight, man, dude. Go ahead and give me your shout outs, because this is an awesome showing by you here tonight.
Yeah. I think it's my top 3 finish in this league. I just joined this league last season. The last race season we had, and I didn't race all the races, so it's really good to be out here for the 2nd race of the season and be on a podium. Tim Chapman for putting on this race, and Coast to Coast for this whole league. I'm glad to be part of it. AK Racing, that's me, my son, and my grandson's team. My grandson just joined it, so now I've got, like you said, 3 generations. SimTrack Broadcasting, I'm always supporting Patrick, supporting you, brother. You do a fantastic job for my racing series with Graceland Shootout Series and this series here. So wonderful job, brother. And just thank you for the fans and everybody and all the drivers, man.
All righty, Robert Lynch, I appreciate it, bud. I love putting you in the light up here. You definitely did an awesome job here tonight, and I see you can put the work on any driver out there, man. Just keep up the good work, and I want to see you out here next Tuesday.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too. All right, Robert Lynch, everybody, you're nailing it for our 3rd place finish. Hard charge. This moves us to Chris Schaefer, which man, he really did a great job as well here. Let's see if we can get a hold of Chris Schaefer. Chris Schaefer, you got a copy on me here, bud?
I got a copy, Patrick.
All right. I'm going to say right off the bat, finally. That has got to be the word that's got to be going through your mind at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've had some rough races, man, but I've been fast. Last week I was fast and just worked out where pit strategy, it put me behind some cars and got caught up in some stuff. So, yeah, definitely finally got a good finish again.
Yeah, well, we just from up top and looking here, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the Atlanta race. You were involved in almost 3 wrecks that you had absolutely nothing to do with, and you got taken completely out of the race. I've got people here in the chat rooting on the 23. Go Chris Schaefer, and you just keep getting totaled out, but you finally get your break here tonight for a 2nd place finish.
Yeah, definitely. Atlanta. I even got a black flag for entering pit entrance unsafely, and it's like I got wrecked,
Yeah.
So definitely I'm glad we're at some different tracks. It's not restrictor plate type tracks, so it kind of evens the field back out to where you have to do the braking and the rolling.
Yeah, definitely try to shrink the tracks down. I know some guys that kind of tangles them up a little bit. You were pretty good there at the plate tracks. It's just wrong place, wrong time here, but fortunately, race control's up there, so hopefully he'll be able to wave some of those black flags and get it squared away. Out there on the track and kind of dwindling down here to the final laps here, Robert Lynch was all over you, man. How confident are you feeling about pulling away a 2nd place finish over top of him? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on, Chris. No! Uh-oh. Spaghetti-O. Chris Schaefer. No. All right. I think Chris Schaefer's mic just kind of spit the bit here. All right. Hopefully we'll be able to talk back to Chris Schaefer here, and hopefully we'll be able to recontact and talk to us again. Man, I really want to hear what his shout-outs were out there. Definitely, Chris, if you can go ahead and message me, man, that way I can go ahead and get your shout-outs here. I see Getting Hooked on the side of your truck and DNT Designs. I don't know if something's going on with your mic here, brother. But hopefully we'll be back and catch up with Chris Schaefer here at the end. But that's going to rotate me to our race winner. And he goes actually a 2 for 2 here. For our broadcast here tonight, Aiden Young. Aiden Young, once again here, man, you get it again. Any doubt in your mind?
No, just had to play that pit strategy right and came away with it.
All right, well, Trying to figure out how to word this right and be nice. You got passed multiple times here tonight. Kyle Moonen kind of had your number. I believe it was the, come on, brain. Sean Grace, the 27 Toyota. Man, that doesn't look like anything could stop him here. And you kind of let him go by. It didn't look like you put up too much of a fight there. How'd you stay calm through all that and still come up with the win here?
I just knew there was a bunch of power saving I needed to do and just keep focused and let them drive away and just come back at them later in the race.
How do you know that you're going to get them, though? I mean, you're just like, it's all right, I'll get them at some point. But, really, that some point is now. You were able to push your way to the front, and you got it here. I mean, just I think what I'm trying to do here, Aiden, is get kind of the mindset of somebody who's in the lead, loses the lead, and is able to maintain strategy to come back and win it.
Yeah, that was kind of my strategy is when they went through with me, I just let them go, and I knew save my tires a little bit because later in that race when we had that 50 laps there at the halfway point, and they got a long run, and I was like, yes, this is what I wanted.
Yeah, definitely. Once it cleaned up and stopped with the cautions there, man, that's when the racing really started happening, and definitely must have played into your pocket there, man, but definitely I've talked to you a bunch here tonight, and I'm sure I'll talk to you much more during the season, but you come away with a win here, dude, and this should tie you up with Bob Light that ended up, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. What in the world am I talking about? Roland Olson, who ended up winning. Sorry, I was with Bob Light on Thursdays, which I'm sure you're going to be battling with him as well. Definitely a good showing here, but all right. Aiden Young, dude, shout-outs yet once again. Tell me a little bit about Young Gun Creations.
Just a business that I started when I was in high school and just kept it going. We do iRacing paint, race car decals for real cars, and obviously I do all my iRacing paints, and they look pretty good. And I know I do Bob the Good stuff, and everyone else's is pretty good, and just got to keep it going.
Okay, awesome. Hey, how does somebody get a hold of you if they want to get some paints done?
And they can either message me on Facebook or message me through Discord or get together with me when I'm online racing.
All right, man, dude. Awesome job here tonight, Aiden Young. Fantastic job, man. Keep up the good work, and I'll got my eyes out for you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Aiden Young there got everything A-OK and squared away. Chris Schaefer still having some little bit of some mic trouble there, but hopefully he will be able to battle his way out after that from the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Appreciate everybody showing up out there. Simtrax as well. We appreciate everything you guys do showing up here tonight. It was definitely a run here. Aiden Young definitely had, just be able to maintain his calm, get out to the front, really just put on a great show. Aiden Young comes away with a second win, pro lates and here in the trucks. Chris Schaefer in the second. Robert Lynch came third. Nathan Aldrich in the fourth. Zach Chapman fifth. Kyle Moonen sixth. Preston Cranmer nails it in the seventh position, so not too much trouble out of him there tonight. Patrick Spangler with eighth. Gavin Chatham into ninth. And Jacob Butcher rounding out our top 10. Awesome job. Awesome. Guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow. I know he'll be looking pretty good here so far. Let's see how it gets going here and really kind of wrap it up here right in the beginning. Let me try this one more time. Chris, you got a copy on me here one more time here, bud?
Yeah, I got a copy.
There we go. All right, good. Dude, I'm going to squeeze this in here right at the end. Give me your shout-outs, man.
Yeah, I just want to thank the boys at Turn 1 Motorsports and my boys at Inferno Motorsports. It's a collab effort. Been running together. Getting hooked. Charters out of Cedar Key, Florida for sponsoring me. D&T Designs for the paint on the car. You guys for the broadcast every week, man. I watch it. I love you when you do it. And, and Roger and the boys over at C2C for putting on the league, man.
All right, Chris Schaefer, thanks, bud. I just want to make sure we get your shout-outs in. I know there are a lot of people out there who kind of sponsoring the car and you, so we want to make sure we get you wedged in there, bud. Great job tonight.
Thank you, man. I'll see you next week.
All right, everybody, there's Chris Schaefer. I just want to make sure we squeak him in one last time, but here we are signing off for tonight. Don't forget to tune in to the Hometown Heroes tomorrow. That'll be a good running and a good show for you. I know they'll be squared away for Travis Piercefield. Get the Coolray Hometown Heroes locked and loaded there. If you're looking for me, I'll be over at the Racing Revolution, and that'll be the final race before we head to a 2-week hiatus or holiday leave, if you'd like to call it. And then we'll we'll get that squared away. Stella and I will be in there, and we'll be rocking that one out. So, Simtrax Broadcasting, Coast to Coast Racing Network, be well, be safe, be kind, and you know what to do, guys. I'll see you guys next time.